business, your truck, and your road to success in the trucking industry. This is Trucking Business and Beyond, the show that puts the money where it belongs, back in your pocket.
Welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. The website is letstruck.com. It's Sunday, January 21st. We are here live. We'll be taking your calls and answering your questions for the next 3 hours. Pick up the phone and join me. Anything goes. 8888 Road Dog. The show is all about the business of trucking. We take your calls and answer your questions about trucks, money, fuel mileage, maintenance, tires, taxes, technology, health and fitness on the road, getting started as an owner-operator, finding freight, working with brokers, getting your authority, you name it. We'll talk about it. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call. We're going to get to those calls in just a little bit. I have a couple things I want to talk about. One I want to clear up. It's still on the ELD issue. As far as I'm concerned, the ELD is dead. I mean, move on. Lots of great things are happening in the industry. I'm not even so sure I would want to see changes to hours of service anymore. There are some things you could fix. But, things are looking pretty darn good. If you can't make enough money with today's rates and the hours of service in the ELD, I'm not sure what to say. But I do want to clear this up because I keep seeing this on social media, and I see a lot of arguing about it, and it's not that complicated. But people are misinterpreting this, and here's the headline. I've seen this several times. It says, Federal Court rules. Motor carriers cannot charge owner-operators for ELD service, and then it's usually signed by some law firm. This one is the Cullen Law Firm. I've seen others. That is an incorrect headline. And it's misleading. Motor carriers can charge owner-operator for ELD services if the owner-operator agrees to it. It's not that they can't. I'll explain under what conditions they can, but these kind of headlines, it's kind of like all the misleading tax headlines I'm still seeing. This is the same thing. Motor carriers cannot charge owner-operators for ELD service. Completely false. That is a very misleading statement. They cannot force you to take the ELD service that they are offering. They can offer you an ELD. They can charge you for it. They can withhold the money from your settlement. Happens all the time. No different than them charging you for insurance and withholding it from your settlement, giving you a fuel card, and maybe or maybe not giving you those discounts on the fuel card. All of those things are completely legal. What isn't legal, what this headline should say, is motor carriers cannot force owner-operators to accept their ELD service. That would be a correct statement. But here's the rest of what you have to know about this. The carrier can require you to have a product or service in order to contract with them. So let's use an ELD as an example. Clearly, the carrier can say, if you're going to run for us, contracted under our authority, you must have an ELD. It's law. You have to anyway. They can provide an option for you, an ELD and a service, and they can charge you for it if you agree to it. Or they can put, and this is what many of them do, they can put so many restrictions and requirements on the service. Here, let me give you a good example. They can say, you have to have an ELD, and it has to interface with our TMS, our Transportation Management System, which is software. So now you're still free to go get your own ELD, but you have to find an ELD that interfaces with their TMS. That's just one example. They could say you have to have an ELD that emails this report to us once a week. If they want to put that requirement in there, they're free to do that. Now, you have a couple options. You can either go find that product that meets their requirements exactly. Companies do this with insurance all the time. The carrier will say, look, we have an insurance program. We'll just take the money out of your settlement. They can't force you to take that, but they can say, we require your insurance to have this liability coverage and this deductible and this clause and this clause. And then if you can't find insurance to meet those requirements, you're basically forced to buy theirs anyway. Nothing illegal about that. So I keep seeing people posting this as though it's illegal for the carrier to charge you for an ELD. It's not illegal at all. That headline is just wrong. So drop the argument of, the carrier can't force you to have the ELD and charge you for it. Sure they can. Like I said, you're free to go out and find your own ELD that meets their requirements and pay for it yourself. That goes for any service. Insurance, fuel cards, IFTA filing, whatever it might be. They can't force you to buy theirs, but they can force you to have something, and they can force it to meet their requirements. And many times that can make it difficult to find that product or service anywhere else. So let's drop that one and move on. What I really want to talk about today is profit. Profit and business accounting. I've been talking the last year and a half about all the change happening in business and in trucking and all the new technology coming into trucking. We talked a lot about ELDs, now the new tax law change. We're looking at $3, $4, $5 a mile rates all over the place right now. Great opportunities. But I've also been reading several books just about business in general and about business growth and about business accounting. And an idea started to form about how we look at our financial statements in a way that doesn't serve us well. And I don't mean just us as owner-operators or in trucking. This is standard business stuff. I mean, this is what they teach in business school. And if you go to get any degree in business whatsoever, whether it's an MBA, even a PhD. This is the standard thought process around looking at financial statements. So it's not like we've been doing anything wrong that was obvious, because this is what everybody does. 99.9% of businesses do exactly what we do when you look at financial statements. Now, I have to say that in this industry, we have so many owner-operators that don't even have a financial statement that this doesn't even apply to most people. But now is the time to get one. There is so much opportunity, but I will also tell you that I've been through these boom and bust cycles many times in this industry, and it's just as likely for an owner-operator to go out of business in a boom cycle as it is a bust cycle. And that's common in a lot of businesses. And here's why. And I look back at myself and all the businesses I've run. I've been just as guilty of this. Now, because I'm pretty good at numbers and I always watch it, I've been successful anyway. But when I look back now, making a couple what seem like minor changes on the surface, but you got to dig into this. I'm just going to cover the surface for right now. Making a couple minor changes in the way we look at our numbers could have a major impact on our bottom line. I posted a quote today that I really like, and it says, "Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king." And you know what? That is really fitting for this industry, because here's what I hear all day long, and I've heard this the whole time I've been in the industry. When owner-operators talk about money, here's all they talk about. Well, on this last load, I got $3.87 a mile. Well, last year I made, $220,000. That's it. We talk about revenue. Revenue, 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 revenue. It's all that anybody talks about. In fact, when I talk about expenses and cutting expenses, I've been criticized up and down. Oh, Kevin, why do you worry about fuel economy? Who cares if you're saving a couple $100 here or there? I don't need to do that. I'll just go make more revenue. Well, that's a lousy attitude. Revenue is vanity. It's just bragging rights. It's meaningless. It is really meaningless. The first time I learned this lesson, I was about 26 years old. I bought my first truck when I was 22. By 26, I had 11 trucks. I was grossing well over, even with rates back then, which were nothing like what we see today, I was grossing well over $1 million. At 26 years old, I thought that was bragging rights. The problem was I had, $40,000 in credit card debt. I owed $30,000 in tax, and I was broke. Gross revenue is meaningless. It's vanity. It's just bragging rights. Profit is sanity. We'll talk about that when we get back. Cash is king. And I'm working on an entire accounting system for owner-operators, tweaking ours to take all of this into account. We'll be right back. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Weekdays from the West Coast with commercial-free hit music.
Hey. Lisa.
Hold on, Kevin.
We're in the screen. No, they can't, Lisa. We're in the screening room. Nobody can hear us.
Oh, okay.
And I
yell at me.
No, what?
What?
I'm not.
Christopher Rick, the first caller, wants to talk about the class.
Okay.
And I sent you all of his. He wants to talk about the dream job. Like apparently, you asked him to call in. This would be a great sales tool if you can pull it off.
Okay.
He sent in a lot of documents.
When does our next class start?
I have no idea. I'll look it up.
Okay. Look it up and send it to me, because...
You going to look it up?
If you could and just text it to me, that'd be great, because I have something else. I have to look over all his numbers so I can answer the questions without fumbling.
Is it fuel optimization class?
No, stop holding the steering wheel.
It's not even on our website. Where are you going to put it? How do you sell it?
I don't know. I thought it was on the website. Oh, yeah. I don't know why it's not there. No wonder why nobody's signing up. When I've tried to sell it a couple times and nobody signs up.
Kevin.
What?
Code STARS. That's $50 off plus free shipping at bowlandbranch.com. Promo code STARS. Bowlandbranch.com spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code STARS.
Freewheelin' with Meredith Oaks and Chris G.
We do good work here most days.
Everything in moderation.
What a concept.
Weekdays, 11 a.m. East on Road.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. So a couple more things, then I'm going to get to the phone calls. This is one of those things that it's a thought process. It's a philosophy. And on the surface, it seems like, oh, well, that's not going to make a whole lot of difference. Once you understand this concept, it makes a huge difference. And it's a mind shift of how, as entrepreneurs, we look at our business and we look at our finances. And again, 99% of entrepreneurs are guilty of this. I've been guilty of it. And I finally had the light bulb moment. And I'm excited about it. And I'm also excited because I can help our accounting and tax clients with this same thing. And the timing is perfect. We are heading into what I believe will be the best year ever for owner-operators and small carriers. So here's the problem with entrepreneurs. One, some of it's just a personality issue. It's very, very common among entrepreneurs to have the attitude of, I can always earn my way out of this problem. If my cash flow isn't looking so good, if I've got some debt, if I need to go buy something new and I don't have the money, I'll borrow it, because my attitude, and it's, again, very common with entrepreneurs, I'll just go make more. I'll work longer, I'll do more, I'll sell more. Common across the board with entrepreneurs. The problem with that is, with that attitude, what you see with entrepreneurs is they focus on growth and they focus on revenue. So our thought is always, well, I'll just make it bigger. I'll sell more. I'll do more. I'll drive more miles. I'll get a better rate. And then what happens is when that money comes in and there's cash, then we spend more, whether it's on the business or on the personal side. Again, very, very common. So as the business starts bringing in more revenue, we want to grow the business. So maybe we add another employer, we add another truck. And the problem with that is you can't keep matching your spending to your revenue. Because at some point, if your revenue goes down, you might not be able to adjust your spending that quickly. In fact, you almost will never be able to adjust your spending that quickly. And then that's when you run into a cash flow problem. That's when you start borrowing more money. This is, again, 99% of the businesses operate this way. Some even become very large doing this, but they don't become really profitable. If you focus on revenue, you can grow. You're probably not going to grow your revenue, or your profit, I mean. If you focus on profit, you will grow your profit, and you can still grow the business. That's the beauty of turning this attitude on its head and looking at our numbers completely different. It's similar, but not exactly the same. It's similar to the idea that I've been teaching for years in personal finance of pay yourself first. And I certainly didn't make that up. It's been around for eons. But it's a good lesson in personal finance. You always pay yourself before you pay your bills. You pay yourself before you pay rent. You pay yourself before you pay food. And that freaks people out. They think, oh, well, that can't possibly work. I'll be living in the street. I'm not going to go into it here. I teach seminars on this, but it works. It works really, really well. Well, I finally had the light bulb moment that can work in business. It's a little more complicated, but my job will be to make it simple. And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on integrating this into our accounting software profit gauges, tweaking some of our reports so that they look a little different. You know, the interesting thing is when I finally kind of had this light bulb moment, like I said, it's not all original. I'm reading several books right now and kind of putting these ideas together. Our accounting software already has about 80% of this. Many of you that have our software know that the one line that I'd like to use is that if the bottom line is so damn important, why is it on the bottom? I put ours on the top. That's the same kind of concept. I put the profit up on the top, not the bottom. So we're looking at profit first. So I was already kind of heading in that direction. Sometimes, though, you just need a little kick or a nudge and make some tweaks. And that's what some of the books I'm reading right now helped me to understand, is I was closer than most accounting systems. One of the things about our accounting program, Profit Gauges, when accountants first look at it, it makes them crazy because we break all of the rules of accounting. You know, there's something called GAAP, GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Practices. And it's designed by a bunch of pencil-pushing, pocket protector geeks. That's what most numbers guys are. They're numbers guys. And it's designed so that accounting is very, very standardized. So everybody is doing everything the same way. And for numbers guys, that's fine. For entrepreneurs, it's a nightmare. Most entrepreneurs are not numbers guys. Numbers guys follow the rules. They want everything standardized. They don't want, deviation. Entrepreneurs are the exact opposite. They are the embodiment of, different and problem solving, and so they're not numbers guys. This is why we have such a disconnect between entrepreneurs who are really good at running businesses and yet they fail. Because our accounting system, the way we look at our numbers in business, does not match the way entrepreneurs think. Well, because I designed our accounting system, and I looked at all these rules and I thought, I don't get it, because I wasn't trained as an accountant. I taught myself. I looked at these rules, I thought, I don't get it. Why would we do that? And the answer was always, well, that's the way it's done. And I thought, I'm not going to do it that way. So we broke all the rules when we created our accounting system. Well, we broke about 80% of them. Now, in our new version that's coming out soon, our update, we're going to break them all. Because this is a breakthrough that will help a lot of people run a better business. So it also went down on my list of classes that I need to create. I have such a big list of those. I need to hire somebody full-time just to help me create classes because it's a great platform. Our online classes are really, really helping a lot of people. So I want to do more of those, just a matter of time. But that's where we're going with this accounting. And it's hard to explain right now, but I wanted to give you an idea. And again, I think the timing is perfect. We're heading into what is going to be just an amazing year. So if you want to be a part of this, I'm going to take us into the break, and then I'm going to get us around the break. We'll get to your calls and questions. If you want to be a part of this, if you would like us to help you with your taxes, with your accounting, we have several options. We have software you can use. We have a full-service tax option. We can do corporate taxes, personal taxes, LLCs, partnerships, whatever you've got. You can do your accounting using our software. We can do all the accounting for you, and we can help you with all of this stuff. So I'm going to give you a number. You can always call us. I'll give you the website. It's letstruck.com. Look under the Services and Profit Gauges tabs. Or, because sometimes this is confusing, we have an awesome Tribe Care team on the phones. Call them. It's 855-800-3835. We'll help you with last year's tax return. Those are happening right now. We will also help you plan for 2018 with all the new tax law changes. We are on top of those. We understand them. I've written about them several times. I've been interviewed for several magazines. So we can help you with all of that. Give us a call, 855-800-FUEL. That's 3835. So, again, very, very exciting year. I think it's good timing. Technology is going to help us. We're going to make our goal in accounting, whether it's our service or you using our software, is to make accounting kind of go away, to make it just as drop-dead simple as possible and to take the least amount of time. We don't become successful in business because we're really, really good at accounting. We become successful in business because we're good at running our business and we have simple numbers that we can look at to help us make decisions. So you can't ignore accounting, but you also don't want to become an accountant to try to run a business. You want to do what you do best, run your business, but you need good numbers to do it. That's our whole goal. That's why we only work with people in the trucking industry so that we can stay very, very focused on what they do, which is a business I understand really well because I own trucks for several decades. So our goal with our accounting is to minimize it, simplify it, get it out of your way so you can run your business successfully and profitably. We're going to get to your calls and questions right after this. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Road Dog Trucking. An insightful and informed look at the trucking industry.
The reason they're in this trouble is because of poor maintenance, and the first thing they do is fire their mechanics.
Current events and social issues.
Well, it's also the way you move your country forward. Educate your kids.
And business strategies for any owner-operator.
Are we trying to accomplish getting a truck on the road at the cheapest price possible? No, that's short-term thinking, and it will kill you in the long run.
For everything trucking, it's Road Dog Trucking Radio on Sirius XM. We know you.
Message and data rates may apply.
Remembering when to change your fridge filter is a hassle. Remembering the right filter is almost impossible. So at Filters Fast, we have some good advice. Forget it. Instead, remember this. Text DOOR88 to 543-543 and check fridge filters off your to-do list forever. Get it all taken care of for a fraction of big box store prices with a Filters Fast brand filter. To see how much you can save, plus get free shipping, text DOOR88 to 543-543. With a huge range of brand name filters available, Filters Fast is America's #1 online filtration company. And you can get a Filters Fast brand filter for a fraction of the price, delivered to your door every time you need it. No need to remember. It's not a matter of if you need a fridge filter. Why not text to get it taken care of? To see how much you can save and get free shipping, text DOOR88 to 543-543. That's DOOR88 to 543-543.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Do you know the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers? We do. Do you know how to make your logo come alive and magnetically attract new, long-lasting customers? We do. And do you know how to ensure your logo is delivered on the right promotional items on time at a great price? We do. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Who are we? We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team to make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items. And right now, we want to share with you for free the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers. Discover them now by texting ACT77 to 88988. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional items can make to help grow your brand. With 4imprint, you'll get high-quality products, exclusive items, popular brands, on-time delivery, and outstanding customer service. That's what we do. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers by texting ACT77 to 88988. That's ACT77 to 88988.
I'm Todd Bork, Weather Channel with an interstate weather update. East-west interstates, watch out across the central parts of the U.S. Starting north I-94, we have some rain, freezing rain, and snow on I-94 anywhere from Wisconsin through Minnesota. We also have I-90, same type of thing, rain and snow in parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, especially in the parts of South Dakota and also into Washington State. So be careful along that ride. I-80, some spotty rain showers anywhere from Illinois into Nebraska, changing over to snow and could be heavy from Nebraska into Wyoming. Also watch out as you work your way through the Donner Pass from Nevada into California with the heavier rain and even a flake of snow or 2. I-70, heavy snowfall. Colorado, as well as western and central parts of Kansas. I-40, showers, storms, some of which could be strong, icy, severe, and portions of Oklahoma as well as Arkansas. Not as widespread as you work your way into Tennessee. I-20 and I-10, scattered showers, storms, Texas and Louisiana. I'm Todd Bork with Custom Weather Drivers Twice Now on Road Dog, Sirius 7146.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. I'm going to get to the calls. I want to address one thing because I said in my opening statement, ELDs are here to stay. I'm fine with that. I'm not even sure I'd like to see hours of service changed right now. And I just got a ton of feedback from that on Facebook. People are screaming at me. And a lot of them are saying, well, you don't understand because you're not out here driving anymore. Well, you're right. I'm not out there driving. But I understand. After you've put 1 million miles in a truck yourself, nothing changed. I know what it's like to make delivery schedules. I'm not an idiot, really. Anybody who believes that I can't take the experience I've had on the road or dealing with brokers or owning trucks and put a little logic to that and understand what it's like, then I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, if you don't believe that I have the mental ability to do that, a 10-year-old can do that, then I'm not sure why you listen. But I've had a lot of people say, oh, well, you just don't want anything to happen because you don't understand. Really, what I'm doing when I make that comment, I don't really care if the hours of service get changed right now. I'm just repeating what I'm hearing from many, many of my successful owner-operator clients and friends and people who say, look, leave the hours of service just the way they are right now. Don't even change the 14-hour rule because supply and demand is in our favor. Why would we want to do that? We now have the leverage to get shippers and receivers to start improving what they do instead of holding us up at the dock. And even something like changing the 14-hour rule, which most of us agreed on, gives the shipper and the receiver another break. It gives them one more way to hold you up and just say, well, log it, this way. So I'm just repeating what I'm hearing from a lot of very successful owner-operators that say, don't mess with anything. Maybe down the line we'll look at it. But right now, why fix something that isn't broken? Rates are better than they've ever been. We're setting records. So if you want to talk about that today, I'll be more than happy to discuss it. I'm going to get to some phone calls. We are off to Vancouver. Christopher, welcome to the program.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good. What can I help you with today?
Well, I'm going to try and keep this brief. I'm one of your students in your class, and I actually have to change the name of the class to Start Driving Your Business. The other part I'll leave to you.
Okay.
And we're about to purchase our first truck. I sent you the numbers. Did you get a chance to take a look at that at all?
Yep, I've got them here in front of me.
So we spec'd the truck. We found the truck on Truck Paper. It was out of our budget. They were asking $38,500. We put in an offer within our budget. So our budget was $25,000 to $35,000, I believe. Yes. And they accepted our offer at $30,000.
Okay.
So we requested the ECM report, the service history, oil sample, and they sent that to us, and I just forwarded that on to you.
Got it. And I've got all those here in front of me.
Everything seems like it's okay.
Yeah, it does. I'll tell you just one thing that kind of concerns me. It's not an absolute no-go. And I'll have to dig through these records. That ECM report looks like it's about 40 pages long, which is good. There's a lot of information in there. So it's hard for me to try to read those things in just a couple minutes while I'm on the air, but I will certainly do that. So thank you for sending it over to me, and I'll give you feedback on it. But I can give you some general things on the air right now. One, first off, congratulations on doing the hard work. You're following the system. You're doing this step by step. That's 90% of the battle. So you're off to a great start. The one thing, and this may just be me, I have a lot of experience with renting trucks from the two big rental companies, Ryder and Penske. Did it for years and years on a regular basis because when I had my dedicated runs, my trucks ran 6 days a week, and it was almost impossible to get service work done in just one day. And if something broke, I couldn't just say, well, I'm going to put the truck in the shop, because I had a contract to fulfill and I had a driver that needed to work. So I've rented trucks from these companies hundreds of times over the years. I don't know why. I mean, I've looked at the specs. They're not horrible. But for whatever reason, every time I rent a truck, the fuel economy on these things are just atrocious. They're nowhere near what we normally get out of a similar truck. And it's kind of maybe even clouded my judgment about these. But if I can go through here, I'm sure somewhere in this ECM report I'm going to find the lifetime fuel economy. And I know it's not 100% accurate, but it gives me a good idea.
7 miles per gallon.
Okay, so...
Yeah, Kevin, it's coming in at 7 miles per gallon.
Which, again, isn't horrible, but we also have to realize that ECM, and I just said it's not completely accurate, I try to figure a 1 mile per gallon swing in any direction, which means that a truck that shows up on an ECM report at 7 could be 6 or it could be 8. And it's hard to know. It's almost impossible to know which one it's going to be unless we run it and actually check fuel economy. If it's 6, that's awful for a new truck. Lots of new trucks are getting 8.5, 9 right out of the gate. If it's 8, then that's fine. So I'm just a little leery. It doesn't mean I wouldn't buy it, and I'm not going to tell you not to buy it. It's just one of those things that I want to bring up. It's been my experience that rental trucks, for whatever reason, from both Ryder and Penske, have just not been known for getting good fuel economy.
So, Kevin, can I add this to it? Once we pick it up, we're headed to Pittsburgh Power to have it tuned.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer to this. I think that if I were to dig down into all the details, it's probably the way they set up their ECM. Their tires are usually very high rolling resistance because they tend to buy tires that last a long time, and those tend to be higher rolling resistance. So, none of them have any modifications. So I think that we could fix all of those things. And if you're in that mindset that, you're going right to Pittsburgh Power, we're going to work on fuel economy, then I think you're fine with this truck. I think the price is great, and the specs are solid. So I don't see anything. And again, I haven't been through everything in here yet, but I will do that. But my first, run through there, I didn't see anything that would eliminate this truck, and I do like the price.
Oh, I love the price.
Yeah, good.
I don't know if we can finish the discussion in class tomorrow, but while I'm with you on the air, I just need to kind of, I don't mind sharing my history. I came from the financial services industry into trucking in 2014 with a goal of owning my own truck in 2016. And I came in hoping to be able to lease a truck, and then I was introduced to you, and so then we just had to start putting money away.
Good.
And we put money away till we can now pay cash for this truck.
Excellent. That is fantastic. It warms my heart when I see that, because your odds of succeeding go up about 500% when you do the hard work and save the money and sacrifice and wait and buy your own rather than taking the easy way out and signing a lease to make it happen quick. So I can tell you, I have been helping people become owner-operators for a very long time. And I have a really, really good track record of being able to predict who is going to make it, who's going to fail, and who's going to be a wild success. You have all the hallmarks of a wild success.
Thank you.
So that's exciting. So I'll look forward to going over this in more detail in class when I've had time to go through all these reports and highlight things, which is all part of the class. And that way everybody else in the class will get the benefit of this as well. Anything else I can help you with today? Uh-oh.
No, that's great. Thanks, Kevin.
Got it. Okay. You're welcome. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
The class that he's referring to, grab something to write with. I'll tell you more about this right after we get back from the break, because this is a live weekly class combined with online video, worksheets, documents, a private Facebook group to ask and answer questions. We are coming to the end of that class that I'm currently doing, and we're getting ready to start another one. So I'll give you the details on that class when we get back. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Since 2017 was so up-tempo, this year, take a deep breath and chill.
Better than I used to be.
With down-tempo electronic music and deep house. Day and night, commercial free. Chill. Channel 53 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Think about it. You've got some great photos on your phone, but what are you doing with them? If you don't have FreePrints yet, you've got to get it. FreePrints is the free app for iPhone and Android that lets you print all those photos for free. You get 1,000 free 4x6 photo prints a year. All you pay is a small shipping charge. You can even print photos at other for next to nothing. Using the FreePrints app is easy. Just select the photos you want to print, whether they're on your phone or on Facebook or Instagram, choose the sizes, and you're done. Your premium quality free prints will arrive on your doorstep in just days. With more than 100,000 five-star reviews, FreePrints is one of the world's favorite apps. Download it now at freeprintsnow.com and start enjoying real professional quality free prints. The app is free, and so are the prints. No subscriptions, no commitments. Just free prints. Go to freeprintsnow.com to get the app and your 1,000 free prints. That's freeprintsnow.com.
Hiring is important. People are what make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter makes it simple. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/try free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/try free. ZipRecruiter.com/try free.
Truck drivers, I hope you enjoyed your time at home during the holidays. And if you're looking for more home time, I encourage you to look to J.B. Hunt. This is Craig Harper, Chief Operations Officer, and J.B. Hunt is hiring drivers for local jobs in intermodal, dedicated, and final mile. We offer variety along with strong annual earnings and daily home time. We believe in working hard to making a living, but believe you should enjoy that living too. Search local jobs today at drivejbhunt.com. That's drivejbhunt.com.
For all things trucking, it's Road Dog Live with Casey Phillips.
Because most of you are probably out running down the highway keeping America rolling.
Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. So, the class, we are getting ready to launch another one on March 12th. This is a 16-week combination of online and live classes. When I say live, I mean a webinar that we do live. Every Monday, I run a class that lasts from about an hour and a half to 2 hours every Monday, where I cover the material, explain the material, and answer all the questions. We do it as a group, so everybody benefits. We do examples. I go over ECM reports. I go over oil samples. We are learning financial statements. We're learning negotiation techniques for buying trucks, how to spec a truck, how to find a truck, how to find your first carrier. The list goes on and on. It's everything you need to know to become an owner-operator and do it correctly. Now, what was shocking about this class, we allow 100 people. We had a full class this last time. And what was shocking to me was how many current owner-operators and even small fleet owners are in this class, and they're getting a lot out of it. And it wasn't designed for that. It was designed to help people get started. But we cover a lot of business concepts that even people that have been in business for years don't understand or haven't been exposed to. And that's what this class is all about. Plus, you get a private Facebook group where I answer questions every morning. And a lot of material. You get an audio program that you can listen to while you're driving down the road. We also give you 2 other courses completely free. One called Changing Lanes Without Crashing, which is an online course all about the mistakes to avoid when you want to become an owner-operator. And we also give you a free course on understanding fuel buying strategies and fuel tax combined, fuel optimization and fuel tax. So all of those are combined. We are now accepting signups for our March 12th class. We do only allow 100 people in the class, and last time it sold out, I believe, in less than 10 days. This is I've mentioned it a couple times, but this is where we're going to start marketing this class, so I expect it will fill up pretty quickly. Normally, we would put this up right on our homepage, but because we have so much going on with this new tax law, I don't want to take that down from the homepage yet, so grab something to write with. I'm going to give you a fairly easy website to get to. We like to put everything at letstruck.com, so you only have to remember one, but this is an exception. We will get this course up on the homepage, but it's not there yet. So I'm going to give you a way to go directly. So if you want to get signed up early and make sure you get a spot in this class, you can go to learn.letstruck.com. Fairly simple. Normally it's letstruck.com. Our university is hosted at learn.letstruck.com. And you'll see the course there. We have a couple, but you'll see the course called Stop Holding the Steering Wheel and Start Driving Your Business. Let's get back to the phone calls. Let's go to Nebraska. Wes, welcome to the program.
Hey, Kevin, how is the fifth Koch brother doing today?
Oh, fantastic.
As many conspiracies as you get caught up in, I figured that'd be a good one for you.
I like that one, yeah.
I have a question about double brokering. I am an owner. I am lease purchase sucker, and my carrier has a brokerage in its umbrella company. So I talked to another driver from a different company, and he was pulling a load that I did not get, but I knew how much my company was going to charge me, and it was about $2,000 more to carry the load. And I'm wondering, is it considered double brokering when the brokerage arm of your parent company goes to another broker and gets a load and then passes it on to the carrier arm of the parent company?
No. And there's a lot of confusion about what double brokering is. Double brokering, the true technical term, is illegal. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen nearly as often as everybody thinks it does, because people think if one broker moves a load through another broker, that's double brokering. It's not. That's legal. What is illegal, and what was part of our problem is we use terms the wrong way. What is illegal is if a carrier contracts a load with a shipper and then brokers it to another carrier. They can't do that. That's illegal. That's why there's broker's authority, and that's why your carrier has two different divisions, so that they don't run across this and they're not doing something illegal. If they go as the carrier into the shipper and they say, we contract for that load, they can only put that load on their trucks or trucks directly contracted under their authority. They can't broker it to another carrier. That would be double brokering. But they can go into that same shipper for the same load if they go in representing themselves as the broker and contract with that load. Now they can do almost anything they want with it. That's what a broker's allowed to do.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers that question. You know, I need to buy out this lease and just go straight lease on. I need to buy out this truck and just go to straight lease on to somebody and cut this lease purchase bullshit.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
All right.
So I understand your frustration, but what they did in the way you described it to me is legal.
All right. Also, can I ask to look at rate confirmations?
Yes. Well, let me clarify that. Are you paid a percentage?
I am paid percentage.
Yeah, you can ask to see that then, and technically they're required to show it to you. I've seen carriers that refuse, and people say, they can't refuse, that's illegal. And I say, well, you're right, but what are you going to do? I mean, sometimes we have to separate the law from the real world. Lots and lots of things happen that are illegal. But in the real world, what are we going to do? If one of the examples I get all the time, you take your truck to a shop. The shop absolutely does something really stupid and wipes out your engine. And then says, wasn't our fault. Well, that sucks. But in the real world, what are you going to do? If you want to resolve this and they absolutely refuse to resolve it, your only choice is court. And many times that's the last place you want to be. So we just have to separate what's legal and then what we're going to do about it when something happens that isn't legal.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of Fred Koch Sr.'s favorite sayings was, avoid court because you don't make any money. The only people that make money are the lawyers. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for answering the question.
You're welcome. And I could go on and on. Here's the other problem when we get to court. Judges don't necessarily know business. Judges know law. Judges don't know engines. How is a judge supposed to decide in a lot of these kind of cases who's really right and wrong? That's why, that statement is absolutely true. The only people that make out are the attorneys. We just want to stay away from those kind of things. Let's go to South Carolina. Adam, welcome to the program.
Hey, Kevin. Good afternoon. And I got a great answer for your business class there, and I won't charge you for it. You just get lucky.
There you go. That always works.
Just get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that always works because that's what people tell me all the time. Well, you just had that contract at FedEx because you got lucky. You just did this, because you got lucky. So that must work. You're right.
Now everybody knows. I'm not sure if it's gonna. This might go viral. I'm not sure. Anyways,
I think you should write a book.
I got a few things. There's not a chance in hell. That's even funnier than you think. What's it called? For a couple years when everybody started doing the ELDs prior to the mandate, you never really heard. Everybody just said either they liked it or they didn't like it. Well, I waited till the last minute to even get started doing it because I really didn't want to, and I haven't been able to get my truck up and running, the 96, the way that I want to yet. So I've been doing the ELDs. And the funny thing about the ELDs is, and I never heard this on the show, I didn't hear every episode, obviously, but I never heard anybody going, it's just as easy to cheat on that as it is your logbooks. And that was funny to me. I was going to say that last time I talked to you. It's just as easy. Just as easy.
Yeah, which is interesting. Then if that's the case, why all the whining and crying? Because now you have something that does the paperwork for you, and you can cheat it anyway. Hold that thought. I've got to get to a break. I know you've got more than that. So we'll tackle it all right after this. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Dog Trucking and Sirius XM are pleased to present a legendary overnight show.
I'm George Norrie, and welcome to Coast AM.
The most dominant overnight show in the country is on Road Dog Trucking Radio.
Did you hear about it?
Weekday mornings at 1 a.m. East. It's Coast AM with George Norrie, telling it like it is.
Widely unreported by the mainstream media over the weekend.
Coast AM with George Norrie. Weekday mornings at 1 a.m. East on Sirius XM's Road Dog Trucking Radio.
Professional truck drivers, you can't afford to be left behind. A new era of trucking is starting. Electronic logs, automated transmissions, mobile apps, times have changed. Isn't it time for you to make a change too? Schneider has been an innovative industry leader since 1935. Experience it yourself in 2018. A new era of trucking. A new year of opportunity. A new career for you. Search all driving jobs and limited time sign-on bonuses at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
When would you prefer to spot that burglar? While he's outside, casing your home? Or after he breaks in? The best home security is the one that protects you inside and outside. That's Blink Home Security. Most home security is slow and unreliable and goes off after he breaks in. Too late. Blink is proactive home security, which is why I have Blink. It's motion activated. The instant Blink detects some crook snooping around my home or looking in my car for the garage remote, I get an instant alert and a video clip on my smartphone. Blink helps stop the crime before it happens. Blink cams are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on batteries you don't replace for years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor your home anywhere from your smartphone. Blink is offering an amazing deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys typically charge for 1, plus 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/news. Visit blinkprotect.com/news. Visit blinkprotect.com/news.
Country superstar Blake Shelton melted hearts in a small club.
I'm a fan of the highway.
Zach Brown threw a party in Atlanta.
And the Highway Finds Tour introduced America to who's next in country music.
Relive it all, along with the year's biggest country hits.
A spotlight on SiriusXM's Best of Country Music 2017.
Now through January 22nd on Spotlight Channel 4.
Or listen anytime using the SiriusXM app.
I'm Todd Bork, Weather Channel with an interstate weather update. North-south interstates, a rough ride along I-5 from Washington State into northern California. Lower elevation rain and some higher elevation snow showers. Be careful along that ride. Especially be careful along I-25 from southern Wyoming all through Colorado. Some very heavy snowfall. Gusty winds there does taper off into New Mexico. I-35, we have a little bit of rain, snow from Minnesota. Then some general scattered showers from Iowa into Missouri, Kansas. Showers, storms, some of which could be strong, isolated severe. Oklahoma and Texas, also along I-45 in Texas. I-55, some isolated showers and a thunderstorm or two. Anywhere from Missouri all the way down to the Gulf Coast. I-75, a stray shower storm cannot be ruled out in Michigan, Ohio into Kentucky. Be careful for a stray shower storm again, I-95 in Florida. I'm Todd Bork with Custom Weather Drivers Choice down the road, Dog, Sirius XM 146. And on the Sirius map.
Your money, your taxes, your truck, and your road to success in the trucking industry.
Now, back to Trucking Business and Beyond, the show that puts the money where it belongs.
Back in your pocket.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. We're heading into the second hour of the program. Still time to get through 8888 Road Dogg. The website is letstruck.com. I'm going to get right back to the phones. Adam, go ahead.
If I would have heard that years ago, I might have even tried to do it if they told me it would have been the same stuff. And I'm just talking about for owner-operators. I don't know what it's like for, a company driver. Actually have more restrictions, but, I've never been a company driver. So, well, I'm a company driver for my wife. I don't know if that counts.
That counts.
But that does, apparently. And so today with the question I had, was a couple of them. Was one about the numbers that you said you were going to check out and do. I just double checking with you. And two was if we stop, since we lost a little bit of the revenue we were doing with the other job, Lori hasn't been able to pay me in a check form prior to this we were taking a check out of this. What's the solution if we're just not making, to pay the bills, take care of everything? The company's just pretty much fronting the bill for everything. What's gonna change for us this year for doing that versus should we just drop the pay down to a couple of $100 a week and take something? Is there a solution for that?
Well, the solution, obviously, is we try to get the numbers under control, so that there is money there for you. But there's no requirement that you have to take a paycheck every week. The requirement is that you take a reasonable salary for the amount of work you do, and that is all over the board. We would have a lot more control over that number if there wasn't a record of how much work a driver does for the company. Like, just to give you an example, I know, attorneys that, their company profits $600,000 or $700,000 a year, and they take a salary of $50,000 because attorneys actually might have a tough time if they have billable hours. But, there are companies that it's easier to say, well, I just don't do a lot of work for my company, so I don't have to pay myself that much. And that's the goal. I know this is probably confusing a lot of people. The goal when we run an S-Corp is to pay ourselves through salary the smallest amount we can get away with and take the money out of the company as profit. But there's no requirement. I mean, if there isn't enough money there to pay you, then you just can't get paid. And that's common. Lots of businesses run, in a deficit or, there isn't a lot of profit or a lot of money left over to pay salary. So in that case, you can even say, well, yeah, I only paid myself $20,000 this year instead of $40,000 because that's all there was. Now, you can't make that claim if there was also $300,000 worth of profit.
Well, we're down, because of the job I had before. I was able to pay off all my equipment and and get a house and pick up a mortgage payment actually. And I'm between $5,000 to $7,000 down per month.
Yeah, and that's big. But there's two questions here. One is this an accounting problem? And no, it's not. I mean, the IRS can't argue when there's just no money there. This is more of a numbers thing. What can you do to improve the numbers?
Well, for us, it's more of a freaking taking a break from running 12,000 miles a month. So, for us, it's more of a, we don't need that much money anymore to cover everything like we used to because everything for the most part got paid off. So we can live on less money. So we got to figure out how to accommodate that through paying me a salary or some money. And because before, as you know, I made between 22 and 23.5 for years. Right. It was guaranteed every week, no matter what. Right. So it was really easy to do that. Now I'm running. Okay, so last week I ran 2,320 miles. I made $4,850. It's a decent run. I didn't work very hard. I didn't do, drove through a little snow, whatever. this week I'm going to do about the same amount of money for 2,000 miles. But this wasn't consistent. So we're not, how does not being consistent, not knowing exactly which, I don't need to make that $6,000 every month anymore.
Right.
Every week,
so,
I mean.
Yeah, so what we do is we look at longer periods of time and averages. Rather than, try to figure this out week to week, we would look at 3 months or 6 months or whatever history we have, and we would first say, okay, here's the revenue, here's the expenses, here's what's left over. Of what's left over, what's a reasonable way to split this? How little can we get away with to pay salary, and we want to take the rest as profit. The other thing, and this is part of my open, and I'm not quite there yet, this is an ideal example of how we turn this on its head and say, if you're going to run roughly this many miles, and we can estimate what the revenue should be, what should your profit be out of this? And we pay the profit first. And I know this freaks people out because I've taught this concept in personal finance for years, and I tell people, you have to pay yourself before you ever pay the bills. And they'll say, but if I do that, I won't be able to pay the bills. Yeah, you will. I've done it 1,000 times. Works the same way in business. I can look at my own business right now and say, if I try this, how am I going to pay all those expenses? Well, you don't. You get really innovative and you start figuring out which expenses you really need and what you can cut out. And that way your profit starts growing, which is what we want to happen. No matter... Even you, where you're not working as hard as you used to be, and you're okay with that, so we know we're going to generate less revenue, well, that just means we have to get more innovative at cutting expenses so we can bring profit back up.
All right, well, the crack habit's gone then.
Good. Yeah, that was costing you way too much money.
It was. So, were you able to run through the numbers for the business?
Not yet, but I will.
No problem. No problem. Hey, I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. Yeah, that's a great example of this whole concept. And again, this is kind of revolutionary. And it's not my original idea. I'm pulling a lot of different ideas from several books that I'm reading right now about business. And it's this goes against everything everybody's taught about business. But it works. And like I said, I'm not sure why this wasn't my original idea, because I worked for years as a certified financial planner working with drivers on their personal finances and retirement accounts. And, I used that philosophy. You always pay yourself first, no matter what. And people will freak out. Well, if I do that, I can't pay my bills. You'll figure it out. You'll find a way. And that's what forces you to save for retirement. The same concept can work in business. It's a little more complicated, but my job will be to make it simple. The idea in business is that what we always do, what everybody's been taught, is the money comes in, you pay all the expenses, and whatever's left is your profit. I've taught that for years. Everybody teaches that. That's Business 101. Well, we're going to turn that on its head. We're going to set up a business system. And again, I've got some ideas I have to work through and work this out, but it's basically going to be the same thing. Every time money comes into the business, you're going to pay out the profit first. You're going to pay out the taxes next. Then you're going to pay out expenses. And if there isn't enough money left to pay out expenses, then you're going to have to get creative. That's how you generate more profit. It seems so simple. Like I say, I'm gonna work through that so you can expect a lot more of that in the future. Let's go to Florida. Jack, welcome to the program.
How are you today?
Good. What can I help you with?
Hello? Well, I called about a health problem, but I want to agree with you about the ELDs. I started driving in 1969. I was the owner-operator with 11 trucks for 18 years. I sold them, and I went to work I didn't like retirement, so I went to work for a guy I used to be leased to. And the shippers will let you park now that they wouldn't before it's just altogether different. I like them.
Yeah, here's the thing
I didn't think I'd ever say that.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. Here's the thing that I've kind of figured out on ELDs, and it's why I'm ready to move past it. I only brought it up today because I keep seeing that legal issue that's just completely wrong. But I'm ready to move past it, because here's where we are on ELDs. The people that are absolutely against them, I'm never going to change their mind. And I don't even want to try. They will fight tooth and nail just to tell me I'm wrong. Fine, if I'm wrong, move on. And they're never going to change my mind. So at some point on certain issues, you're better off just agreeing to disagree and move on. And that's where I am on the ELD. I'm not going to change anybody's mind. They're not going to change mine. It's time to just move on. You go do what you have to do about the ELD, and I'll keep helping people be successful in business, because that's what I do. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to come right back. I've got to get to a break. Stick around. We'll be right back. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Macklemore rolled through while Miguel came through to chill.
Music has a great way of finding where it belongs.
Relive the biggest moments in hip-hop and R&B with encores of exclusive SiriusXM performances, along with the year's top jams on countdowns from the Heat and Hip Hop Nation.
I don't dance now, I make money.
SiriusXM's Best of Hip Hop and R&B 2017. On now through January 29th on Spotlight Channel 4.
Pilot Flying J has exclusive deals on food, drinks, and snacks waiting for you in the My Pilot app right now. Like free slices of pizza, buy one, get one free drinks, and more. But these deals are only available when you download the My Pilot app. It's easy to do. Just text XM to 30311. Then visit any of our Pilot Flying J locations and start saving today. You'll receive new offers in the app every 2 weeks. Text XM to 30311 to download the app now. Message and data rates may apply.
Everyone has a favorite photo. Now you can turn yours into canvas wall art at canvasworld.com. Canvasworld.com will print your photograph on a handcrafted custom canvas at the size of your choice. They combine the latest technology and environmentally friendly inks to produce canvas prints that are higher quality than ever available before. And they guarantee their work for life. Maybe that's why 6 of the country's top 10 hotel chains choose Canvas World. Their prices are a fraction of what you'd pay elsewhere. And it's easy. Just upload your photo, choose a size, and you're done. They'll even digitally retouch your photo absolutely free. Place your order at canvasworld.com today and save 35%, plus get free shipping when you enter promo code RADIO at checkout. Get big canvas prints at big savings at canvasworld.com and save 35% and get free shipping when you enter promo code RADIO at checkout. Order yours today at canvasworld.com. That's canvasworld.com, where photos become art.
Hello, truck drivers. Are you interested in advancing your driving career? Walmart Transportation has driving job opportunities at many locations across the United States. Walmart offers full-time, flexible schedules with competitive pay with many driver benefits, including medical starting on day one. Drive for an industry leader. Driving for Walmart is a great career opportunity. Why wait any longer to apply? And there are openings for safe professional drivers right now. Walmart pays for mileage, activity, and even offers a safety incentive you can earn each quarter of the year. New Walmart drivers average $80,000 in their first year. If you are interested in advancing your driving career, see if Walmart is hiring in a place you'd like to work by visiting www.driveforwalmart.com and then apply online. That's drive, the number 4, walmart.com. It could be the last driving job you will ever apply for. Walmart is an equal opportunity employer.
Road Dog Trucking Radio. 18 wheels. That's how we roll. Sirius XM.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. I'm going to get back to Jack in Florida in just a second. I do want to address this, and then I do want to move past it, because I think this is one of those issues that people are so passionate about, we're not going to see eye to eye. And I have some people right now that are, like, furious with me, and yet they're loyal listeners. And they do agree with me on most things, but they are ready to take my head off over ELDs. I get it. Many of them have challenged me to live my life by a computer. But I could go on and on about this. That's the job you chose. Driving a commercial vehicle, you have always since 1938 been controlled, tracked, and followed by hours of service. There are no personal rights in business. This is not a constitutional issue. This is not a tracking issue. You've been tracked by your logbook since the day you accepted your CDL. You agreed to these terms. I lived by those terms for decades. I drove a truck. I know what it's like. If I wouldn't have wanted to do that, I would have gone and done something else, which I eventually did, not because of hours of service, because I like new challenges all the time. And if people believe that I wouldn't be able to thrive under an E-log, you couldn't be more wrong. That is my strength. That is what I do. I thrive on change. I love change, even if I don't like what changed. And here's why. Because I know I am really, really good at problem solving, and most people aren't. Most people fear change. And when you fear something, you're not going to think clearly, and you're not going to solve those problems. I don't fear change. I thrive on it. I don't want level playing fields. I always want the advantage in my corner. And by being really good at dealing with change and finding new ways of doing things in better ways, I thrive on change. So the ELD, for me, if I were still out there driving trucks and owning trucks and trying to make money, I'd be happy as could be, because it gives me a clear advantage over people that are really bad at change. And that's really what this comes down to. It doesn't even matter anymore whether we agree with ELDs, love them, hate them. They're here. Every minute you waste, and I'm just speaking to everybody in general right now, this is where we would be very different. The people that can't let go of this, that continue to post over and over and over and over, and argue with me many times over and over and over and over, you're wasting your own time. I mean, I'm pretty good at managing my time online. I'm getting better and better all the time. But for me, being online is not that big of a deal. I'm usually in there answering tax questions. I'm in there answering questions in my class. I'll debate back and forth. No big deal for me. But this is what you have to think about. If you're still one of these people that is just ranting and raving about ELDs, ask yourself this question. Is that time you're spending fighting with me or anybody else, or just randomly posting, is it doing you one bit of good? I see groups, multiple groups, fighting this. I still haven't seen one good group with a good leader. I see a group that starts up, gets 300 or 400 or 500 members. Everybody starts fighting and arguing. The group falls apart. 6 more groups get formed. What a colossal waste of time. Ask yourself this. What would happen if you took that same amount of time and figured out how to make money in this environment? So I don't want to spend much more time on ELDs. If somebody wants to call, I'll talk about it. But honestly, just ask yourself, what would make more sense? To really devote your time and energy to problem solving and figuring out how to make money. And honestly, if you can't figure out how to make money in this environment, I'd be willing to help you, but you'd have to be willing to listen and try new things, because you should be able to make tons of money in this environment with half your brain tied behind your back. Unless, of course, you're wasting all your time and energy ranting about something that isn't going to change. It's really not about whether we agree or disagree anymore. It's here. Let's get back to the phone calls. Shaq in Florida, go ahead.
Yeah, I like them ELDs. But anyway, I wondered what is that Trevorgen in fish oil that they're advertising to help you?
No, I know exactly what product you're talking about. It's the commercial where they say it was first discovered in jellyfish, right?
Yeah. Is that any good or no?
No, it's not. Let me just start there. Let me give you another general rule of thumb.
Okay.
Any product, especially when we're talking about health or supplements, any product you see on TV, I would stay away from. Here's why. All their money is being spent on advertising. TV advertising is outrageously expensive. Millions of dollars. The really good products, and there are very, very few of them, the really good products in any health category you're never going to see a commercial for. Because their money was spent on research, development,
right.
Production. I'll give you another good example. Probiotics. I'm a huge believer in probiotics. There's thousands of brands on the market. The ones I would absolutely stay away from are the ones that are advertised on TV. All their money went into advertising. There are some really good little companies that put all their money into research, development, and production instead.
That's very true.
Now, let me give you one more rule of thumb.
I got one more question in my phone.
Let me give you one more rule of thumb when it comes to supplements and health. For many, many years, I said I do not believe in supplements. I've tried them. I've tested them. I see almost no results. And I've changed my mind about that because I learned something when I went through the nutritional therapy training and all the books I read. The reason supplements didn't work for me or almost anybody else was because there isn't a supplement in the world anywhere that will overcome a poor diet or poor lifestyle. And that's what we tend to do. We tend to just eat whatever we want to eat, do whatever we want to do, and then think we can take a supplement and our brain's going to be better and we're going to be smarter. Doesn't work. But if we clean up our diet and we eat clean, like paleo and high density, high nutrient dense keto, and we get rid of all the grains and all the sugars and all the garbage, that will fix 90% of our problems. And then the good, high-quality, targeted supplements can actually work. Does that make sense?
My wife had her gallbladder removed. Would that cause sugar diabetes to come on?
In a roundabout way, it can. And here's why.
She had that removed a year ago, and all of a sudden got bad diabetes.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame that completely on the gallbladder removal. I'm not a big fan of gallbladder removal. They're not spare parts. We shouldn't be taking them out.
But they got hers out.
Right. So here's what happened. Diabetes occurs over decades. Now, our diet has become so bad that now the younger generation is getting it before they're 10 years old. It is coming on much, much faster because our food system keeps getting worse and worse. But somebody your wife's age, this has been developing over decades of eating the wrong foods, the wrong macronutrient balance. The gallbladder sped up the process. When they took it out, and here's why. Without the gallbladder and without supplementing with bile salts, you can't digest fats. So you're not able to use fat for energy, so her body can only use sugar for energy. That will cause you to crave more sugar and more starches, so you tend to eat more of it, and that's what happens.
That brought up another question. She was going to go on that bile salt, and the doctor told her not to because she's got diarrhea since the removal anyway. Does bile salts
will
diarrhea?
No, it'll fix it. She's got it because she can't digest her fats. Now, here's the choice. I will not argue with people's doctors. It's just not worth it. So, as a patient,
well, I will.
Well, yeah, you can. I don't even have a doctor, so I don't have anybody to argue with. As a patient, she has to decide. Is she willing to continue down the medical path that really hasn't given her very good results, or is she willing to try something completely different? Because there are very, very few doctors that will work with nutritionists or naturopaths or chiropractors. Most doctors, it's their way or the highway. They believe they are 100% right. Well, all we have to do is look at the results. If she's happy with the results, then she should listen to her doctor. If she's not, she should try an alternative.
Try that.
Yeah, she should try an alternative. Now, not all doctors are that way. My son's an NTP. He works with an MD that gets it. To me, that's the best combination. It's just really hard to find. We'll be right back. Stick around. Kevin Rutherford.
Full loads, long hauls, way stations, and truck stops. Freewheelers. It's all about trucking.
Keep up with the industry through us.
We talk about things in the truck driving world without concentrating on the same 4 or 5 topics.
And hear what drivers have to say about the world at large.
Around that curve could be anything.
I can't believe you went there.
Freewheelers. Weekday mornings, 11 a.m. East. It's Meredith Oaks.
Can we get to drink tequila?
And Chris T.
Well, you want to know that about every day.
Freewheelers. Exclusively on Sirius XM's Road Dog Trucking Radio.
Truck drivers, Schneider is offering more types of driving careers than ever in 2018 and will be holding hiring events nationwide in January. Meet one-on-one with a local recruiter with the potential for a same-day interview. And with orientation classes starting every week, you can start quickly with Schneider, an ELD-compliant industry leader. Find a January driver hiring event near you and learn what to expect at the event at schneiderjobs.com/events. That's schneiderjobs.com/events.
When would you prefer to spot that burglar? While he's outside, casing your home? Or after he breaks in? The best home security is the one that protects you inside and outside. That's Blink Home Security. Most home security is slow and unreliable and goes off after he breaks in. Too late. Blink is proactive home security, which is why I have Blink. It's motion activated. The instant Blink detects some crook snooping around my home or looking in my car for the garage remote, I get an instant alert and a video clip on my smartphone. Blink helps stop the crime before it happens. Blink cams are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on batteries you don't replace for years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor your home anywhere from your smartphone. Blink is offering an amazing deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys typically charge for 1, plus 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/news. Visit blinkprotect.com/news. Visit blinkprotect.com/news.
Hemorrhoids. The pain, itching, and swelling can be unbearable. Now there's Recticare Complete Hemorrhoid Care System with 2 effective medicines that provide multi-symptom relief. Recticare Complete has the highest concentration of lidocaine and phenylephrine HCl without a prescription to relieve pain and itching and reduce swelling. Use Recticare Complete for noticeable results after the first use. Get Recticare in the blue and white box at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, Rite Aid, and Meijer. Use only as directed.
I'm Todd Ford, Weather Channel with an interstate weather update. East-west interstates, watch out across the central parts of the U.S. Starting north I-94, we have some rain, freezing rain, and snow on I-94 anywhere from Wisconsin through Minnesota. And also have I-90, same type of thing, rain and snow in parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, especially in the parts of South Dakota and also into Washington State. So be careful along that ride. I-80, some spotty rain showers anywhere from Illinois into Nebraska, changing over to snow. It could be heavy from Nebraska into Wyoming. Also watch out as you work your way through the Donner Pass from Nevada into California with the heavier rain and even a flake of snow or 2. I-70, heavy snowfall. Colorado, as well as western and central parts of Kansas. I-40, showers, storms, some of which could be strong, icy, severe, and portions of Oklahoma as well as Arkansas. Not as widespread as you work your way into Tennessee. I-20 and I-10, scattered showers, storms, Texas, and Louisiana. I'm Todd Bork with Custom Weather Drivers Choice now on Road Dog, Sirius XM 146.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. Still time to get in. Keep dialing. I'm going to get back to the phone calls. We are off to Oregon. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thanks for taking my call, Kevin. Got a business report for you to look at, and then I've got a question about the flow below. I know on their website they say 2%. I was just wondering if it's any higher than that as far as increase of fuel mileage.
Yeah, let's start with that one. Aerodynamics are still our number one challenge in fuel. Even to this day, the OEMs are spending a fortune trying to get better fuel economy through aerodynamics, so we continue to see them improve. The Tesla truck is a great example of a radical change in aerodynamic design. And the Thor, if you've seen the Thor electrical truck, it's a radical change in shape. The reason they're able to do that is because they don't have a big engine and a big cooling system to deal with. When they go to electric, that engine, the cooling system, all that transmission, it all goes away. Now you can build a truck in a very different shape. And people say, well, why is it important to them? They don't use fuel. Oh, yes, they do. Their fuel is called electricity. And it's really important to save on that because it extends range. So when you look at the shape of, the Tesla truck and the Thor, that's why. There's a big push, again, to improve aerodynamics in the industry. And the flow below is one of those very, very few aftermarket products that actually make a big difference in aerodynamics. I think 2% is really low. I know they're one of the few fuel mileage products that don't try to put their absolute best numbers forward. They go low on the average. I mean, we see a fuel mileage increase on every truck it goes on.
Okay. Yeah, I've done just about everything else I can do to this thing, and that's the last thing there was. But if it was only going to be 2%, it seemed like it was hardly worth doing. But if it's going to be, upwards of 5%, then it would make my payback a lot quicker.
Yeah, the problem with a percentage, and there's no way around this. There's no really accurate way to report on fuel mileage improvements. If we use a percentage, which a lot of companies use, that works on the truck that gets the average fuel economy. But if you take a truck that's getting 10 miles to the gallon and you put a flow below on, there's going to be an improvement, but it's not going to be 10% or 2%. It's not going to be any percentage. Because if it were, somehow that truck would get a bigger gain out of it than a truck that gets 5 miles to the gallon. It would get twice the gain. Well, that's right. That's not even logical.
Right.
This is physics, and so that we have to report some number, but there isn't a really good way of doing this. So what we do know is I've tracked the improvements with the flow below over many, many, many trucks. And the payback, the break-even on it's about 7 months.
Okay. Well, that's worthwhile doing that, especially with fuel prices in California right now.
Yeah, they're climbing everywhere, which is a good thing, but it's also a good time to invest in. It's such a great product. It's very, very durable. It's easy to install, and you could move it to the next truck if you wanted to.
Exactly. Okay. All right, that one's answered. So my business report, if you could look at that and tell me if you think I'm going to need to do an LLC for next year.
Yes, that's the easy question. If that's what we're looking at this for, that's now this is just you as a single driver, right? Not a team. I want to double check.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, you are clearly,
and it's complete. It's complete except for interest rate on the trailer, and then the trailer's going to be paid for in June. So
you need to do that ASAP. form the LLC, have it taxed as an S corp. You could save. You're going to say if 2018 looks like 2017, and my guess is it's probably going to end up being better. But if it were the same,
I think so.
Yeah, you would end up saving. I'm going to give you some rough numbers here. If we were to do a salary for you of $40,000, which we could easily get away with, you're going to have another at least $40,000 that we can avoid the self-employment tax on, which means about a $6,000 tax savings. And then with the corporation, there are some other strategies we can put into place and save even more.
Yeah, well, okay, that's what I need to do then. So as far as once we get the LLC in place, then either go to support and try to get some other strategies, or just call back on the show again.
No, the best bet when we get down to, like, I can outline the general idea. Like, if you're married, we can put your spouse on payroll. We can offer them a health plan. They put you on their health plan. We get to take all of the medical expenses, insurance, everything as a business deduction. So I can go over the general idea. If you have a shop or you're planning on building a shop, we can set it up so that you own it personally and the corporation leases it from you. We can generate a tax advantage that way. We could talk about vacation, deducting your vacations. I can talk about them in general. But everybody's tax situation is different, so when we get right down to implementing these strategies, that's when we have our tax team. You'll talk directly with them, and we'll look at the tax return, ask you about, do you have a spouse? Are you planning on putting up a shop? Do you have kids we can pay to work in the business? That requires, kind of that one-on-one appointment with our tax team.
Right. Okay. All right, and then real quick, if you could look at my fuel gauges and see what you think. I run Interstate 5 from...
Yeah, just in general, we always focus on the things we can, make the biggest improvement on. And looking at your business report, for you right now, that would be fuel and maintenance. Your numbers look excellent, by the way, but we're always looking to improve. You're spending 42 cents a mile on fuel. Now, I realize part of that is just your operation and where you run. But just to give you an idea, I have some people down in the 24-cent range. So somewhere in there...
Yeah, I know, but...
Go ahead.
I'm always at 80,000. I run a curtain van, so that runs it. Before I got on a curtain van, I was pulling a regular van, and my fuel mileage was up around... had gotten up to 6.8. Well, as soon as I got on the curtain van, it dropped back to 6 miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So when I bought my own trailer, I put a tail on it, and that helped me 3/10 right there. So, and I got super singles and all that other stuff. So,
yeah. So we look at the numbers. We say, well, there should be some room for improvement in there, and you identified one place, the flow below. Is there something else we might be missing? So there's room in there. I mean, clearly there's some room in there. There's some room in maintenance. Those are usually long-term strategies that we work on. But, your numbers look great.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the information, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. And congratulations on doing the hard work. Having your accounting done makes a big difference. I'm going to jump into this call. We might have to carry it through the break. Rick in New Mexico, go ahead.
Hi. I actually got two questions. The first one's a quick one for you to answer. I was interested in your oil program, the oil sample program. Where do I start? With what equipment will I need to get, and do I need to have it installed, or can I install it myself? Where do I start?
Okay, so there's two sides to this. One is the bypass filtration, which I absolutely believe in. I started saying a couple decades ago I would never own a truck without bypass filtration again. So much savings, so many advantages. And the second part is the oil analysis itself. I'm not a huge fan of doing oil analysis without a bypass system because most people change their oil and take a sample. Well, the sample's not, it could tell us a couple things, but the oil's already gone. So I like the combination of the two, the bypass system and the sampling program, and I just don't do one without the other. Let me explain how that all works when we get back from this break. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Extended by popular demand, the Eagles Channel, Hotel California.
I've always loved radio, and it's really a privilege to be able to do it.
Hear more hits, rarities, influences, guest DJs, and insight from Don Henley and Joe Walsh. Plus,
hear the Eagles perform at Nashville's storied Grand Ole Opry House for the first time ever.
The Eagles Channel, Hotel California. Extended through January. Sirius XM 30. Or listen when you get out of the car with the Sirius XM app.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-9920. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-9920. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-9920. 1-800-700-9920.
On the road, safety's everything. That's why Help Inc., provider of PrePass, has invested $700 million into making our roads safer. With PrePass way stations, bypass, and e-tolling, you avoid congestion around way stations and reduce the need to merge in and out of traffic. And transponders are hands-free to help you stay focused. We offer 1 month of free service to try before you buy. 888-559-PASS and use the promo code ROADDOG or visit prepass.com/RoadDog. 888-559-7277 or prepass.com/RoadDog.
Are you a professional flatbed truck driver looking for more home time and higher pay? Then look no further than WTI Transport. As a driver for WTI, you'll enjoy better home time, consistent weekly earnings, and up to a $7,500 sign-on bonus. We make it easy to make it yours. Grow your flatbed career and enjoy great benefits and rewards, such as Epic View Mobile Satellite, free for company drivers. To learn more about this opportunity, call 204-469-5065 or visit us at WTIDrivers.com.
Truck drivers earn up to 60 cents per mile at Martin Transport. These added earnings are the total you will earn after all our extras are added, such as detention pay, breakdown pay, safety bonus, mileage bonus, and more. As a certified top pay carrier, we offer excellent rates plus weekly home time on Martin's dedicated routes. Make the move to Martin today. Call 888-239-5746 to apply or visit drive4martin.com.
At 7 a.m. East, it's the Dave Nemo Show.
On the Dave Nemo Show, we'll wake you up and catch you up with what's going on.
Exclusively on...
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. We are going back to Rick in New Mexico. Rick, go ahead.
Okay, it was, you were saying the DPF or the bypass first?
Yes.
And
there
then,
we go. Yeah,
okay.
so the idea with the
then
bypass...
the other question I had, this is the...
Let me explain. The idea with the bypass is we change oil not because the oil's worn out. Oil never wears out, ever. It's been in the ground hundreds of millions of years. It's not going to wear out. What happens is it gets dirty, and it gets too dirty to do its job. So this occurred to me a couple decades ago, and I started doing the research. Why can't we just keep the oil cleaner? And it turns out we can. These systems have been around for a long time. I started using them in 1995. They just really filter the oil so fine that it stays clean and we can leave it in the engine. Now, something could go wrong. We could have an injector leak, so we get fuel in the oil. We could have a coolant leak, so we get coolant in the oil. Those are bad things. We could have a rip in an air cleaner, and we get dirt from the outside in the oil. So if we're going to leave this oil in this truck and not change it based on a certain number of miles, which makes no sense, then we oil sample, so we only change it when it really needs to be changed. And we never know when that's going to be. That's why we sample. So you can get started. I mean, the unit that I recommend, the bypass system, is on our website at letstruck.com. You can buy your oil sample kits there. We do, I go over oil samples all the time with people on the air because we have access to those samples. And that's really how you get started. And if you can do basic maintenance on a truck, then you can install the bypass system. There's 3 steps to it.
Okay.
You mount it somewhere, usually on the frame. You run an oil feed line and an oil return line and a 12-volt wire. And that's it. That's the extent of installing it. And it comes with an installation kit for each engine.
That sounds pretty easy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Now, the other question I have, this is, to me, it's a new product that I'm seeing out there. And I wanted to find out your take on it. It's by Lucas. It's a deep, clean particulate filter booster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I've seen the product. Here's the problem. I used to test these kind of products all the time when I was running all 3 of my own trucks. And then I could give absolute results. I controlled my test. I did it for months at a time. I would report my results. I don't have that ability anymore. I don't have the trucks. I sold the contract a couple years ago. So for me, it's really hard to have an absolute opinion on these new products. And I don't endorse or recommend things I haven't been able to test myself. Now, I do have a handful of other owner-operators that are part of our team here. I've known them a very long time. I trust them. And occasionally we do test some of these things, and then I can report on their results. But this is a product we just haven't tested. I do like Lucas. I do like Lucas as a company, and I like their products. And I've followed their stuff for years. So I have to believe there's a chance that it works and does something, and I also have to believe that it probably won't do any damage. I would recommend you can try it. As far as emissions go, I don't think there's anything in a bottle that's going to solve our emission problems. Might help a little, but what you really need is every 250,000 miles you need a good emission systems clean and service. Unfortunately, I only know of one place that actually understands what that is and has developed a system to do it, and that's Pittsburgh Power. If you go to a regular dealer and you say, Pittsburgh Power, yeah. If you go to a regular dealer and you say, hey, I want you to service my emission system and clean it, they don't know what that means. They'll give you the deer in the headlights look. What Pittsburgh Power has realized is most of our emission problems come from the fact that there are a lot of sensors in all of those components, and there's also a lot of soot in the system because that's what our emissions are. It's EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. We're bringing that sooty exhaust back into our engine. Over time, that soot gets on.
And most of them are probably just...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying that most of these places probably just clean out the filter itself and kind of blow it out, but they don't necessarily clean the dozer valve or any of the sensors.
Exactly, which go yeah, you're exactly right, which go all through the engine. They're in the intake, they're in the EGR system, they're all over the place. So Pittsburgh Power has developed this service that they recommend about every 250,000 miles, where they take that whole system apart and either clean, or many times they just replace the sensors. They're not very expensive, so they'll replace them, and they do a whole clean on the system, and we're seeing that works really well. As far as, dumping in something to the fuel that claims it cleans, it might help a little bit, but it's not going to be a fix-all.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, thank you for the information, and I'll call Pittsburgh and see what they have to say.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. Let's head off to St. Augustine. Clifford, welcome to the program.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
I got a transmission question for you. I have a 96 FLD Freightliner with a 9-speed in it. It's got 2.1 million miles on it. And Tranny gave up on me, so I'm changing it out with a one that I have in the junkyard. And I'm having the model numbers are a little bit different. They're both 9 speeds. I want to get your input on that.
Did I hear you say that the transmission you're going to put in was a 13-speed? Is it a 9-speed converted?
No, they're both 9 speeds.
Oh, they're both 9 speeds.
I'm taking a 9-speed out. That's no good. Yeah, but on the model number, there's a little bit of difference in the letters and the numbers. And I was wondering, one ends with an A and one ends with an R.
Yeah, and those all mean something too. But my God, I'm racking my brain to try to remember all the little designations. Now, tell me this: what rear end gears are in this truck?
311s.
311s. Are you sure? You mean 411s?
Yes. I'm 311s. I'm 99% sure of that.
The reason I question that...
at 70, I'm running...
Okay, yeah, give me your RPM at 70.
I'm running at about 17.
That's not a 311.
They're about.
That's not a 311 then. 411 maybe.
Oh, no.
But there's
okay.
See, we don't know now. If you give me all of the factors except one, I can always calculate the final factor. But if there's 2 factors in question, we don't know the transmission final ratio, and you're not sure of the rear end ratio, now I can't calculate anything with any certainty. We're starting to guess. The reason I doubt that it's 311, I've never heard of a 311. I don't think that gear ratio exists. I don't ever remember either Eaton or Spicer having a 311. I remember a 308 and a 307, and I just don't ever remember seeing a 311, but I do remember 411s. 411s used to be very common.
Yeah. Yes.
But
okay, it was 3-something, so it might be that 308. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't have that number written down in front of me.
So here's what I would do. There are literally thousands, and that's not an exaggeration, of transmission models over the years. And we're going back to older trucks now and older transmissions. I would have to go look up that specific model number to know. And I would absolutely go look it up before I attempt to put it in this truck. We need to know that the final gear ratio is close to the old one. If it's if for some reason is there an O in the model number somewhere? Not a 0, but an O.
No, it looks like 14609. No, there's no O.
146. That So what are
09.
What are the letters?
Both of those transmission have that in common.
What are the letters?
The one that I'm taking out is an RT 14609A.
RT 14. Okay, I believe that's a direct, because an RT is direct, an RTO is an overdrive, and that's what we have to be careful. But if you have a direct, then you definitely don't have 411 gears. It almost could be 311, but I've just never heard of that number.
Yeah, it could be.
Let me.
It could be a 308. It was 3-something.
308 absolutely makes sense. 308 exists, and a 308 with a direct drive transmission would give us that RPM you told me. That could be our answer right there. Let me get to a break. I'll come back. We'll talk about this more right after this. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Hey, this is Jeff Foxworthy.
Larry the Cable Guy here. Happy to bring you
Jeff and Larry's Comedy Roundup. You'll hear all-American comedy that you love, backstage interviews with your favorite comedians.
Be me, Jeff Foxworthy.
And a whole bunch of our friends.
Did I mention me?
Oh, crying out loud.
Jeff and Larry's Comedy Roundup is on right now. Check it out.
Sirius XM 97. Or listen on the Sirius XM app. You're going to love it. I promise.
Does getting a flavorful, balanced, and convenient dinner on the table night after night feel like a chore? Let HelloFresh take care of the weekly meal planning so you can save time and actually have fun cooking and eating amazing meals. Visit HelloFresh.com and choose what meals you want from an ever-changing, customizable, and always delicious menu. Then let HelloFresh shop and deliver pre-measured ingredients with simple recipes that come together in around 30 minutes, have just 6 steps, and require minimal cleanup. But the best part? It costs less than $10 a meal. So if there's ever been a time to kick those 5 p.m. excuses, break out of your recipe rut, and take the first step towards unstoppable, it's now. Just go to HelloFresh.com/city to get $30 off your first box. That's HelloFresh.com/city for $30 off. HelloFresh.com/city.
Matt Busby is a trucking legend. He goes by the CB handle Roadhog, hauling food and clothes across the country. So without him, we'd all be hungry and naked. Matt insures his big rig with Progressive Commercial, where he can send his customers proof of insurance right from his phone. So Matt, you keep on trucking, and we'll keep on eating. And staying generally closed.
Find out what makes Progressive the #1 insurer of trucking legends across America. Visit ProgressiveCommercial.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 truck insurer from SNL Financial's 2014 National Written Premium Data.
Aussie.
That's where I was originally born, that giant island.
Fighter.
I'm not a good fighter. Neither am I. Catch that first round?
Author.
I've got 2 books. You had to clear
Too
that.
late now.
Actor.
This is the only time I've ever had fun acting.
We had a good time.
Radio host.
Everybody that's associated with this show is a moron.
The Jason Ellis Show. Weekdays at 3 p.m. East, noon West. On Fashion Talk, Channel 103.
You're a great Australian and you've become a great American. I salute you and I salute everything you do here.
And available anytime at SiriusXM On Demand.
I'm Todd Bork, Weather Channel with an interstate weather update. North-south interstates, a rough ride along I-5 from Washington State into northern California. Lower elevation rain and some higher elevation snow showers. Be careful along that ride, especially be careful along I-25 from southern Wyoming all through Colorado. Some very heavy snowfall. Gusty winds there does taper off into New Mexico. I-35, we have a little bit of rain, snow from Minnesota. Then some general scattered showers from Iowa into Missouri, Kansas. Showers, storms, some of which could be strong, isolated severe. Oklahoma and Texas, also along I-45 in Texas. I-55, some isolated showers and a thunderstorm or 2. Anywhere from Missouri all the way down to the Gulf Coast. I-75, a stray shower storm cannot be ruled out in Michigan, Ohio into Kentucky. Be careful for a stray shower storm again, I-95 in Florida. I'm Todd Bork with Custom Weather Drivers Choice down the road, Dog, Sirius XM 146. And on the Sirius...
Your money, your taxes, your truck, and your road to success in the trucking industry.
Now, back to Trucking Business and Beyond, the show that puts the money where it belongs.
Back in your pocket.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. We're heading into the third and final hour of the program. Still time to get through. Pick up the phone and call. Anything goes today. I'm going to get back to the calls. I was talking with Clifford in St. Augustine. So that may be what we've got. We've got a direct drive transmission because it's not an RTO, it's just an RT. 308s normally aren't matched to a direct drive, but back on a truck that old, they could have been, and that would give us that high RPM. So that all makes sense. What you want to look for then is you have to make sure the transmission you're putting in there is either a direct drive or you're willing to run in 8th gear and have 9, because if it were a 9-speed overdrive, your 8th gear would be direct, just like 9th is now, and then your 9th would become a true overdrive. But you said the transmission you're looking at
that'd be great.
Is also an RT, right? Not an RTO.
No, it's a RTX.
RTX. Now I have to try to remember what the hell the X meant in the transmission numbers. XXX. I don't remember that one. We would have to. We'd have to go look up that model number and check. It's kind of hard to go wrong in this, though. With those gears, you could put in several different transmissions. And like I said, the odds of finding another 9-speed direct really slim. They were pretty rare anyway. So I'd have to go look up what X is.
Well, if that would give me another gear, that would drop the RPMs, better fuel savings, right?
Exactly. Plus, you would still be running in direct, and you would have that next gear up when you wanted to go faster, and you would able to go faster with lower RPMs. So it gives you more flexibility. I'm a big fan of speccing a transmission where we don't run in the top gear. We run in a direct gear, and then we have a true overdrive to use when we need to go faster. So, like I said, you could put in any direct drive transmission and it would work just like this one does. You could put in a 10-speed overdrive, it would work okay, a 13-speed overdrive, an 18-speed, a single over, a double over. So given those gears, there aren't many transmissions that wouldn't work.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have this 9-speed. It's bought and paid for. So that's the one I want to put in. I was just wondering with the RTX, and it also ends in an R. I don't know what that signifies.
Yeah, most of the letters that meant something that I would care about, I used to memorize. And what's happening is now, I mean, it used to be we had 2 transmissions, Eaton and Spicer. And it was easy to keep track of them. Now, Volvo makes a transmission, Mack makes a transmission. Well, Mack always made theirs, a while back. But, everybody's making their own transmissions now. Model numbers are all over the place. So it's virtually impossible for me to remember any of this stuff anymore. Plus, we're going back a couple decades on these models. To know for sure, I'd have to go look it up. But honestly, it's bought and paid for. And I can't think of a transmission configuration that wouldn't work. So you already had a direct drive in there, so you know what that's like. Worst case scenario, that's what you're going to get again. That this is another direct drive, although I don't think it is. But even if it is, fine. You have just what you had before. If it's some sort of an overdrive, then that's like a bonus. Now you can run it in direct and have a true overdrive. Much better. Yeah, so I don't even know if I'd bother looking it up unless you're just curious. Once you put it in, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on it because, it's not what I do. But I appreciate that. So I don't think I can go wrong from what you're saying.
Doesn't sound like it to me. I can't think of any transmission configuration that wouldn't work.
Oh, good. Another question, while I got the transmission out, the clutch has got 1 million miles on it, so I think it's probably time to change that also.
Change it. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What clutch would you recommend on that?
The clutches are one of those things that people seem to get really, really personal about. We've got the easy clutch. Everybody has their own version of that. I had a clutch that I was endorsing for a while that I absolutely love. Pittsburgh Power carries them. We had some complaints about them, and it wasn't necessarily, like a quality complaint. It was more of a, I just don't like this kind of. The clutch tends to grab a little quicker, so you don't ease into it as much. It's a very different design. So I don't really have a clutch anymore that I'm recommending, just because it seemed to be one of those products that, like I said, it wasn't a quality issue, but we had enough people that were unhappy with the way it performed. So there are just some things that aren't worth making a recommendation on. It's hard to go wrong with a clutch. I don't know of a clutch on the market that I wouldn't buy. It really comes down to personal preference. How much pedal pressure, are you willing to put up with? Some of the clutches I like better as far as their performance have kind of a stiff pedal. And that's what a lot of people complained about. They had a stiff pedal and they tend to grab a lot quicker. Well, I like both of those things. That was just fine for me. And so it's one of the things we don't really recommend or endorse anymore.
Okay, yeah, I was looking for it on your website and didn't pop up. I was wondering.
That's why.
Okay. Well, you answered all my questions, and I thank you very much. And thank you for all the help over the years also. You've helped us out great.
You're welcome. Thanks for being a loyal listener. Let's head off to Bend, Oregon, one of my favorite cities. Dennis, welcome to the program.
Hello, Kevin. How you doing today?
Doing great. What can I help you with?
Yep. Good deal. I have a question about per diem. I'm a company driver. I get paid every 2 weeks, and the company takes $500 right off of the top of the gross and pays that as per diem. And I believe on the check stub it is separated out, but basically they're not paying tax on it and so forth. And I'm just kind of curious how that works for me. Last year, when my wife did the taxes, she paid tax on that.
Ooh, why?
I'm wondering if we're treating that right.
No, not at all. You need to redo the last. You can go back 3 years and amend, and my guess is you need to. I would have to look at the tax return, but you should absolutely not be paying tax on that money.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought.
Now, here's the thing.
So this is $500 off each check.
Yeah, this is what is referred to as a per diem reimbursement plan. Completely legal. The carrier's doing it right. I used to be in favor of them under the old tax law, but it was kind of a coin toss. Depending on somebody's tax situation, sometimes there was a benefit, sometimes there wasn't. Under the new tax law starting in 2018, there's a huge benefit to being in a program like that. But you've got to make sure it's being handled. Here's the thing. On your tax return, you just ignore that money. You act like it doesn't even exist because it's a non-taxable event.
Completely on both ends. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Let me give you an example. I think this helps people understand it. If you were to pull through a toll booth and you had to take out money out of your own pocket and pay for the toll, and the carrier said, "Oh, well, we reimburse tolls, just send us that receipt," and then they gave you the money back, you would never show that anywhere on a tax return.
No tax.
Yeah, but that's all per diem is. Per diem is just the company saying, look, we know you have to eat when you're out on the road, and when you eat on the road, that's a business expense, so we're going to reimburse you. We're just going to give you that money back. That's what per diem is.
Right, and even though they use a piece of my gross income,
doesn't matter.
Off my percentage pay,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
The IRS could care less.
Okay.
All the IRS knows is that they reimbursed you for a legal deduction, eating on the road. And when they reimburse you, doesn't matter that, how they paid you. When that's a reimbursement, then it's a non-taxable event.
Great. I'm going to go back 3 years and amend my tax return.
There you go. Should be a pretty significant difference. Here's the beauty. The IRS is actually going to pay you interest from 3 years ago and 2 years ago and 1 year ago. We do a lot of amended returns. We'll be right back. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Because the right riff and the right voice are timeless. On SiriusXM The Spectrum, you'll hear rock icons alongside the best of what's next. The Spectrum, where new rock meets classic rock. Channel 28 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-9920. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-9920. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-9920. 1-800-700-9920.
Which American company started with a guy in a garage, was featured on Shark Tank, and now has over 1 million customers? Hint, they're reducing crime in neighborhoods everywhere. Here's Ring Video Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff with his secret to success.
It's true. In just a few years, we've had huge growth. We've hired hundreds of people, expanded our warehouse, and we're shipping millions of units a year, all while making sure our customers are happy. I've had lots of things to worry about, but I never worry about our finance and accounting, because we use NetSuite from Oracle. From the beginning, NetSuite let me see what's going on with my business in real time. From revenues to expenses, customers and orders, even HR. I run my business from a dashboard right on my phone. NetSuite has been my business management system from 10 to a team of over 1,000. And NetSuite will be my choice as we continue to innovate and grow.
Go to netsuite.com/ring to see how Jamie scaled his business. You'll also get our free guide titled Overcoming Your 5 Obstacles to Growth. That's netsuite.com/ring for your free guide and the story of a great American company. netsuite.com/ring.
Fellow investor, just imagine it. Tomorrow, you collect $2,200 by placing 2 simple trades. Only 7 days later, you pocket $2,000 more. Then another $725 the next week. Now stop imagining, because real people are making real profits with my unique strategy right now. And it could easily make you $25K or more in just a few months. So why wait? Start at GuaranteedExtraMoney.com. That's GuaranteedExtraMoney.com. Individual results may vary. There's no guarantee past performance will be indicative of future results. Invest wisely.
Landline Now, weekday, 7 p.m. East. We report on pretty much everything trucking. We are very balanced, accurate, specifically for the driver. Landline Now.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. Hey, if you don't have our app yet, you should get it. We have a couple apps, but the one I'm talking about right now is our new Audio Road app. We brought it out a couple months ago. We will be updating and making it better like we always do, but it's pretty awesome the way it is now. It does one thing, and it does it really well. And by the way, it's free. You download the app, you open the app, and you can listen to all of our shows. You can listen right now when I'm live. You can listen Monday through Wednesday while we're recording. You can listen to all of our past shows. They're all there. You don't have to sort through a bunch of other shows. You don't have to subscribe to anything like you do in some podcast apps because it's our app for our show. You open it up. They're all there. You listen to them. It's free. Here's the easiest way to find it. Do a Google search and just type in Audio Road, one word, AUDIOROAD, Audio Road app. And the first two links will be the Android store and the Apple store, your iPhone store. Download it. Again, it's free. Open it up. Start listening. It's a great way to listen to the show, and you can either listen live or listen whenever you want. Let's get back to some phone calls. Let's go to Missouri. Joe, welcome to the program.
Oh, hey, Kevin. Did my life taste of love? So, nice to have that around.
There you go. What's on your mind today?
My heat went out of my new Freightliner, so I had to go to Freightliner. I was talking to the general manager. Apparently, everybody knows how to reset the vents on a dash on the new Freightliner. The computer controls the vents.
Huh. It's crazy what the computers are controlling these days.
Anyway, I was sitting there, and the general manager coming there, we kind of hit it off, and so I seen all those disc brakes there at the truck show last year, and so I asked him about it. And he said a lot of the dump truck guys around there, some of them bought them, and you literally have no notice when they go bad. None.
Well, what do you mean, no notice when they go bad?
Well, I mean, like you don't get this big funk or anything like that, or something's kind of acting up or something, and then you stop. By the time you get stopped, the failure is catastrophic.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Something's going wrong with that. That disc brakes have been around forever. We've had them on our cars for a very long time.
He told me. Well, he told me they tried that in the 70s, and then now they're trying it again. He told me there is a way to make them work. He said the trick to making them work is having very high maintenance.
No, that's
really high maintenance on them.
No. He's wrong. The whole advantage in trucking is lower maintenance and lower cost. They're not higher maintenance brakes; they're lower maintenance brakes, and they're much, much easier and cheaper to change.
No, what he was saying is there's a show can. I saw the show can he was talking about. He said as long as you're really maintaining the brakes, especially that show can, as long as you're really keeping an eye on it, they're okay. And so I asked him what was really bothering me. That's about going downhill. And according to him, they don't work as well as what I have here now.
Oh, my God. This guy manages a shop? This is...
he's general manager.
This is physics. Just physics. And look, we don't have to look at our attempt in the 70s. That was a disaster. Europe has been using disc brakes, and most of the rest of the world has been using disc brakes on trucks for a very, very long time. It is a far superior technology to drum brakes. Here's why. Do you understand why we get brake fade on a drum brake going down a hill, why we have to have runouts? Do you understand the physics of what's happening?
Yeah, the drum's expanding.
Exactly, and it expands away from the shoe.
Yeah.
So now the shoe can't even reach the drum to activate the brakes. What happens now?
I didn't go into details with him. I just hammered him.
Yeah,
it was a hammer job. He's a busy guy, you know.
Think about the disc brake and the way the caliper works. If the disc itself or the calipers and the pads actually got hot, everything moves closer together. The brakes get stronger when they get hot, not weaker. So how can he stand there and say...
I've heard you say that.
Well, it's true, and it's not me. I didn't make that up. That's just physics. It's why every vehicle on the planet eventually moves to disc brakes. Cars started with drums, moved to disc. Trucks started with drums, moved to disc. Bicycles have disc brakes. It's a far better technology. If you've ever had to change brakes, if you've ever had to do a brake service on a drum brake on a truck or a disc brake, you'll know which one you'd rather have. Changing disc pads is a breeze. I don't know where all of his statements are, like, way off base.
Huh. Well, all I know is he said that axle doctor, and whenever one of those fails and the guy's going down the highway, he said they bring them in here, and the failure, if they ever do go bad going down the highway, it's catastrophic and very expensive. And he says it can be you can avoid it, but you have to really be on your maintenance.
But see, I don't even understand what he means by that statement. You really have to maintain them, or maintain what? There's nothing to maintain.
He was talking about there's that stroke pin,
right? But what are you going to do to it? What do you do?
That's
what do you do to it?
Maybe you have to keep it clean or oiled. I'm not real sure what he was actually talking about. He was just kind of flying through.
The reason you're not sure what he was talking about is because he's not sure what he's talking about. He's not making any sense in any of his statements. The whole advantage to disc brakes, there are two big advantages in trucking. Safety is the biggest one, and I just explained why. But the other one is significantly lower cost because they're simple to maintain. You put them on and you change the pads when you need to. And changing the pads is a whole lot easier than a typical brake service is. And the pads last longer than shoes do. Now, he's talking about local dump trucks. Maybe they have some weird issue on local dump trucks I'm not aware of. I can't think of what it would be. Maybe it's all the dirt and the crap they're in and being off-road that they have some issue. But I would not compare that, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't deal with those trucks. So there's probably something I'm not aware of. But we have to be very careful taking something he seems to be seeing on these local dump trucks and applying it across the board, because I will tell you, everything he said about disc brakes in an over-the-road truck is completely wrong.
That makes sense. I appreciate you telling me that, because that actually does make a lot of sense.
Good.
Maybe it's not for off-road, eh?
Right.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's all I need. Thanks for the call. Let's see. We are going to head off to Louisville. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thank you for taking my call, Kevin. I got a question on per diem. First off, the truck owner pays me under contract labor. Now, would it do any good for him to list per diem on my check?
No. Not when you're getting paid as an independent contractor. Just ignore per diem. He pays you one lump sum. Nothing is taxed. So there's no reason for him to set per diem aside or to pay it differently. He continues to give you one lump sum. You will deduct your per diem on your Schedule C, your business profit and loss. So, nothing changed. If you're being paid as an independent contractor, nothing about per diem has changed in this new tax law. It's exactly the way it's always been.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering, because I know I heard a lot of people talking about it. I hadn't heard anyone on that one. on contract labor. So, okay, I just, you said before that, that the other, the company drivers were going to be losing their per diem after this, this pilot system.
Right.
This year. So, okay, yep. I just wanted to double check. I sure do. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Yeah, for you, nothing changes. Because when you're paid as an independent contractor, which, by the way, in your case is probably wrong, but it happens all the time, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But nothing changed. Per diem is exactly like it was last year, and it will continue to stay the same unless they do something else. But you get paid one lump sum. You deal with all of those things on your own Schedule C on your tax return. We'll be right back. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
SiriusXM presents the Women in Trucking Show, brand new on Road Dog Trucking Radio.
You have to respect these women out here. They are out here working just as hard as we are.
Talk about the challenges and triumphs of women behind the wheel.
This is Alan Boyer with the Women in Trucking Association. Our goal is simply increase the number of women employed in the trucking industry.
A brand new show, the Women in Trucking.
They are out here just like we are.
Every Saturday morning, 10 Central, 11 Eastern,
on Road Dog Trucking Radio.
This is Tim Ashoff, president of Creek Carrier Corporation. At Creek Carrier and Schaefer Trucking, we believe that drivers deserve more. That's why, effective January 1, Creek Carrier and Schaefer are increasing pay for our over-the-road fleets and many of our regional and dedicated drivers. Our OTR drivers will start out earning 47 to 53 cents per practical mile, and with profit sharing, the top 50% of our drivers will now average over $73,000 per year. We believe you deserve more out of your career. Visit creekcarrierjobs.com to apply now.
At Rail Transport, driver success is one of our core values. We see you. You're not just a number or a code. You're a person we develop a relationship with and truly get to know. We are successful when you are successful. To learn more how we see you, visit us at rail.jobs. That's ROEHL.jobs. Or call us at 888-356-1142. Rail Transport. Experience the power of red.
Message and data rates may apply.
Remembering when to change your fridge filter is a hassle. Remembering the right filter is almost impossible. So at Filters Fast, we have some good advice. Forget it. Instead, remember this. Text DOOR88 to 543-543 and check fridge filters off your to-do list forever. Get it all taken care of for a fraction of big box store prices with a Filters Fast brand filter. To see how much you can save, plus get free shipping, text DOOR88 to 543-543. With a huge range of brand name filters available, Filters Fast is America's #1 online filtration company. And you can get a Filters Fast brand filter for a fraction of the price, delivered to your door every time you need it. No need to remember. It's not a matter of if you need a fridge filter. Why not text to get it taken care of? To see how much you can save and get free shipping, text DOOR88 to 543-543. That's DOOR88 to 543-543.
I'm Todd Bork, Weather Channel with an interstate weather update. East-west interstates watch out across the central parts of the U.S. Starting north I-94, we have some rain, freezing rain, and snow on I-94 anywhere from Wisconsin through Minnesota. We also have I-90, same type of thing, rain and snow in parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, especially in the parts of South Dakota and also into Washington State. So be careful along that ride. I-80, some spotty rain showers anywhere from Illinois into Nebraska, changing over to snow and could be heavy from Nebraska into Wyoming. Also watch out as you work your way through the Donner Pass from Nevada into California with the heavier rain and even a flake of snow or two. I-70, heavy snowfall. Colorado, as well as western and central parts of Kansas. I-40, showers, storms, some of which could be strong, icy to severe, and portions of Oklahoma as well as Arkansas. Not as widespread as you work your way into Tennessee. I-20 and I-10, scattered showers, storms, Texas and Louisiana. I'm Todd Bork with Custom Weather Drivers Twice Now on Road Dog, Series 7146.
welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. We're down to the final 30 minutes. Still some time to get through, so dial us up. We're going to get right back to the phone calls. We're off to Oregon. Barry, welcome to the program.
Hi, Kevin. How are you today?
Doing good. What can I help you with?
Okay, I've been told since the mandate come out on the ELDs, blah, 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 I run one that's plugged into the diagnostics port. Okay? I've been told that we're supposed to put the stickers on the side of the truck stating to the fact of which ELD we're running. Do I have to do that? I don't like to put any more stickers on my truck than I have to.
I pride myself. I pride myself on being able to answer a lot of questions, and I love doing research. So if somebody does ask me a question I can't answer, I usually go research it, so I know it. But there's one exception. It's a big exception. It's one big area, and that is compliance. I hate compliance. I don't care about compliance, and I don't want to spend my time on it. So you just asked me a question I don't know the answer to, even though it seems simple, and I'm not going to go research. Okay. But somebody will probably, I'm just being honest with you, somebody will probably call us. We don't have a lot of time left. Maybe somebody could send me a message on Facebook if they can't get through. I don't know if that's a requirement or not. I don't have a clue. Now, here's the thing. And I fully understand that you don't like putting stickers on your truck. I never did either. I would probably make an exception for this one. I might even go have custom lettering done just because I want them to know I have an ELD. Oh. They're less likely to mess with you.
Okay. I never thought about doing the lettering that would match up with everything else on my truck.
Yeah, that's one way to do it without making it look so bad. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. I hadn't thought about that. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Update on the weather. I live in Kansas on the western side. For all the drivers and all my brothers out there, heads up. Interstate 70 right now is closed at Burlington, Colorado. I live over there just about 30 miles from over in Kansas from there, and it's it's fixing to be blizzard conditions there.
Well,
very dangerous out there.
Thank you for the heads up. Those sound like the kind of roads we just want to stay off of. I got to tell you, for Oregon here in the Gorge, we have had a very, very mild winter. I'm kind of liking it. Last winter was a little rough here in the Gorge, unusually rough for us out here. Lots of snow and ice. This year, nothing. No snow, no ice. But I got my taste of the weather. I had to fly to Pittsburgh last week, and I got off the plane in Pittsburgh, and it was 2 degrees and snowing, and it stayed that way most of the time I was there. So I got my little taste of cold weather and snow in Pittsburgh. That was enough for me this year. Let's head off to Kentucky. Blair, welcome to the program.
How are you, Kevin?
Good. What can I help you with?
Well, I'll give you a choice. We can either discuss disc brakes on trucks, or you can have a look at my business report from last year.
I'm just going to take a wild guess. Based on your accent, you didn't grow up in Toledo, and you might have a little personal experience with disc brakes.
I think that was Lisa's little joke about Toledo, and I don't want to just discuss disc brakes at all. Just a business report.
Okay, we'll do your business report then. Tell me.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the third year of business, and changed trucks this year, halfway through the year. And one of your favourites, it's got a 12.7 in it, but it's a 95 Pete 379 with an extended hood, so I've lost about 3 cents a mile due to fuel cost.
Yeah, okay. So tell me a little bit about your operation. You own authority or you lease to somebody?
Leased on to one truck, one driver.
Okay. Landstar.
Running a flatbed.
Got it. Your rates were so good, I was thinking you were probably on your own authority, but Landstar makes sense. $225 a mile, all miles. Pretty hard to beat that. If we just look at the top line here, if we're focusing on profit, 97 cents a mile. A couple years ago, that was almost unheard of. I just would I still get excited when I see it, but I'm starting to see it more often. It's still the upper level of the industry to get to that kind of profit number. But it doesn't mean we don't look for more. I mean, you're doing fantastic. Great gross revenue, good net revenue. But the two places you could, make some improvements in, clearly fuel. And on this report for all of 2017, your maintenance was pretty darn high. Was there, a couple big repairs in there?
That was, we'd gotten the initial truck up to where I needed it to be, and then prematurely sold it and got this other truck which needed to be brought up to the same similar standard. So there was a lot of money poured into, and some of that was like the Road King shocks and Silver Road shocks and seats and brand new tires all around. And the other high fixed expense in there is the trailer loan and the truck loan, because we paid the trailer off last year and we're about to pay this truck off in February, all things going well.
Well, then this is just all good news, because these are great numbers and everything points to the fact that they're just going to get better. If anything, I would say focus on fuel economy.
I'll try. It's hard pushing a billboard with a big billboard following it, because it's a 120-inch sleeper.
It is.
Behind it.
It is.
Pushing all that down the road with a...
Yeah, you focus on the things you can control: rolling resistance, engine performance. There are some aerodynamic things that help. I mean, even on a classic, you throw some air tabs and a flow below on it, we actually pick up fuel economy.
The other question I had was seeing where LLC S Corp one driver, does anything change with the way we were doing the daily per diem rate last year? Is there anything that changes because I'm technically an employee of my own company? Does that make any change with the way we're claiming the daily per diem rate at the end of next year?
No, that's the beauty of this. The people we already moved into S Corps, or anybody who was already an S Corp, just benefits even more under the new tax laws. We don't have to change anything. Just look at your per diem and make sure you're maximizing it. You want to pay that full $63 a day to get the biggest benefit.
Yes, we do that.
Perfect.
I tried the new Silver Road shocks on the back of this thing. I got them first, the set of 4, the factory produced ones. They took a little while to get here, but that made a pretty good difference. And of course, on the other truck, I had the Road King shocks, and I just couldn't wait to get those back on the front of this, because they make a huge difference.
They do. Yeah, they really do. So I'm glad to hear. I haven't got a lot of reports back on the Silver Road shocks, so I'm glad to hear that you've got them, and let me know how they continue to do for you.
I didn't have anything like the Road Kings on the rear of any truck, so I couldn't compare them to the Road Kings directly, but they seem to make a heck of a difference over the factory shocks that were there.
Good.
I've got a friend that I tried to get in on the profit gauges. He started a couple of years after watching what I was doing, and they signed up for the free trial, but they didn't put their details in later, so they lost all the information and decided to go with the spreadsheet idea, which his wife was doing all of it. And they had a computer failure and lost all the data, so it put them behind filing taxes until I think November one year. And I've tried even just to get him to do the fuel gauges to track his number. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's frustrating trying to have a conversation with the guy, because he just doesn't know where he's at with his business. It's all about how he feels he's doing in the business, or is, how's your fuel mileage? Well, it says I'm getting 7.1 at the moment. Well, what's your tank to tank? Change the subject. And same with, well, what's your maintenance? cost last year? Don't know. Well, why did you change trucks to this newer one that's got all this DPF and EGR on it? Well, it was a nice new truck. I said, well, is this a good business decision? I don't know. My wife handles all that. I just throw my hands. I love the guy, but, you know,
Right.
throw your hands up in the air at the end of it. And
Well, Blair, after all that, let me use my opening line. Welcome to my world.
Mm-hmm. Have fun with your world, Kevin. I'll let somebody else get in and enjoy the rest of your evening.
That's right. There you go. Good stuff. We'll be right back. I've got one more segment. I'll get to a couple calls, and we'll have to wrap this up. Don't go away, though. We've got more. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
From the West Coast with commercial-free hit music and today's celebrities.
Fergie, what's the best part of being a mom?
Oh, the love.
Hits One in Hollywood, hosted by Michael Yo from TV's The Insider.
I was born to do this.
With Tony Fly.
I totally have that look of someone who just got broken up with.
And recording artist Simon.
#mood.
Celebrity fun and commercial-free hit music. Hits One in Hollywood. Weekday afternoons, 4 p.m. Pacific. First in the pop category and on the SiriusXM app.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. The NSA has noticed how much time you spend on conservative news sites. We have no choice but to consider you a domestic terrorist.
Tired of your internet activity being monitored by Big Brother? Get VirtualShield.com, the world's easiest to use virtual private network. Browse the web anonymously, leaving pesky advertisers and spies in the dust. Get started today at VirtualShield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. VirtualShield.com. You have the right to remain private.
Excuse me, sir. Could you take a picture of my family and me with my cell phone?
Sure, Mrs. Anderson. Smile for the camera.
Too bad hackers never get proper permission to access your cell phone or computer camera. Anyone is or could be susceptible to illegal spying. That's why VirtualShield.com has developed IdentiSafe, a new security software that blocks camera and microphone access from unwanted spies. Get started today at VirtualShield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. VirtualShield.com. You have the right to remain private.
Are you a small business owner in need of cash to fund payroll, to buy new equipment, or to expand your business? Has your local bank turned you down? Have you been told no when you really, really need to hear yes? Get cash to run your business right now. Call Strategic Funding and get a yes today. 800-881-8585. If you've been in business for at least a year, have annual revenue of at least $150,000 and minimum credit score of 550, we can provide you with up to $500,000. Our unique financing service can get you the cash you need with very flexible payment plans, personalized to fit your specific situation. Growing your business just got a lot easier with approval in as little as 1 day. Stop worrying and call Strategic Funding today for a no-obligation consultation. 800-881-8585. 800-881-8585. That's 800-881-8585.
Good things come to those who wait, said no one who ever attended Drexel University. To those who wait, the world says, move or move aside, which is what Drexel students say to anyone who dares hold them back. Drexel students won't spend their entire education sitting in a classroom. They're wired for a world where new algorithms, art forms, and industries are emerging every day. Drexel gives their fire a place to burn at real jobs, in real professions, before they graduate. Because ambition can't wait. Free yours at drexel.edu/ambition can't wait.
Road Dog Trucking Radio. Our favorite color is chrome. Road Dog Trucking Radio, Sirius XM 146. Or listen.
Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. The number to join us, 8888 Road Dog. We are, we're going to go back to the phones. We are off to Texas. Paul, welcome to the program.
Howdy. I'd like to tell about my issues and my maintenance problems I've had with my disc brakes on my tractor unit.
Okay.
Absolutely zero. Zero maintenance. Zero trouble. Haven't had to replace a slack adjuster, an S-cam bush, nothing. Haven't had to grease them even. 576,000 miles. And the only thing I do, occasionally I have a look at my rotor to make sure I don't have any cracking or anything like that. But
right.
576,000 miles, the original disc pads, no problems. Stop on a dime and get change.
I couldn't believe this was a maintenance manager or whatever his title was when those statements were so wrong. I thought my head was going to explode, that nothing he was saying made any sense.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go to his repair facility if he knows that much.
No, I would stay far, far away from that place. I mean, look, it's one thing to have an opinion, but you can't stray from the facts. There is nothing anywhere that would point to the fact that a disc brake is less effective going downhill. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Unless he's not on this planet and it doesn't include gravity or something.
Something. I don't know. And then, well, we have all these problems with disc brakes, but you can overcome the problems if you really maintain them. I don't even understand what that means. What can you do? Lay down there and talk to them? Because there isn't anything to maintain.
Yeah. No grease hurts. No slack adjust, no S-cam, no S-cam bushes, right. Nothing to wear out.
Right. So where does he come up with this? Well, there are problems, but we can overcome them if we just really have intensive maintenance. I just feel like he's speaking a different language.
I guess I'd have to think about it harder when I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, you lay
I'm
under
on the
there.
Way to pick up my truck tomorrow.
Lay under there and stare at your brakes and tell me what you come up with.
I'll talk to them nicely and tell them to stop and give me 6 cents change.
There you go. There you go.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's all I need. Thanks for the call. We are going to head off to Montana. And while I'm heading there, if you were to dial right now, I might be able to get you in as the last call. Looks like I'm going to have a little bit of space here at the end. Let's go to Montana. Colin, welcome to the program.
Hello. So I just had a couple questions.
Okay.
We had an in-frame done about 20,000 miles ago, and we're trying to get some better fuel mileage out of this truck. We're teaming and we're flatbedders. And we were thinking about doing, like the fast lift pump, the door feed, maybe a different manifold, air tabs, but we don't know which ones to do first, and like wheel covers. But we don't know which ones are more effective with this Cat C15.
Got it. So,
and we're running an 18-speed truck.
Got it. So we could make this really, really complicated, but I don't do complicated well. I get confused. I like to keep things simple instead. So we could complicate this and say, well, okay, this product costs this much, and the break even is this much, and the return on investment is this much, and we'd be making a lot of speculation, and we'd be crunching a lot of numbers. And I'm going to put you on hold while I answer this because I think you've got the radio turned up in the background, and I'm getting a ton of feedback. So if you could, while I'm answering, turn the radio down. You can still hear me on hold, and I'll come back in a second. That's really complicated, and it's not going to really make a big difference. Here's the easy, drop-dead, simple method I've developed over the years for how you go through all of these potential modifications. List out all the modifications that you know of that could potentially help your truck. All the stuff we talk about here on the air, whether it's a Dorothy, a FAS, an OPS with synthetic oil, smart truck stuff, air tabs, all the things you can think of. Get them all down on paper. Then a good place to start is Pittsburgh Power, because they carry almost everything that we talk about, and what they don't carry you can find on our website, like the flow below. And you're going to have to do a little homework. You're going to have to make some phone calls. What you want to get is a price installed for everything. Now, if it's something like a Fleet air filter and you can install it yourself, then you just get the price of buying the Fleet air filter. If it's a muffler and you can install it yourself, just get the price of the muffler. You understand. Every truck's a little different. Some things work on some trucks, not on others. You can install some things, maybe not others. So this is a personal list. This is why I can't put one together, because there'd be a lot of options. You might be able to install a FAS yourself. Not an easy thing, but I know some people that do it. That's why you have to create your own list. So that list you've got of all the things, put prices installed, and then sort that list from cheapest to most expensive. And there's your answer. Then you just start working your way down the list. So air tabs will usually be up close to the top because it's a couple $100 and you can install them yourself. Fleet air filter is up there because it's fairly inexpensive and you can install it yourself, no cost. But you understand that's the process we're going to use. You're going to list everything. You're going to get prices on it all installed, put it in order, and then just start working through your list. All right, I am going to go to Texas, probably the last call. Bob, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, I called you a couple weeks ago about my fuel rebate, and my signal dropped, and I never got to hear what you were saying. I hate to go over it again, but I'd really like to know what I need to do, because my rebate is not listed on my settlement as a rebate. It's just a different listing of fuel prices when they deduct it from my settlement. So I have to go in and I have to figure out what the difference is, and then how do I list that? Do I list that as additional income?
No.
Because
No.
total revenue.
So
okay.
I want to make sure I'm answering the right question, because I get these a lot. So basically, when you buy fuel at the pump, it looks like it's going to be one price, so you enter that in. But then ultimately in the settlement, you get the discount. What you do is you go back into each fuel up, and you just correct the fuel price. It's not income. It's just you didn't pay as much as what it originally looked like. Now, some people think, oh, well, I'm not going to go correct it because I'll get a bigger, deduction for my fuel. Well, that's just outright cheating. I don't cheat on tax returns. It's not worth it. Very seldom do we get audited, but if we do get audited, I do not want to have to sit there in an audit looking at an auditor saying, oh, well, I just cheated. Because there's no other explanation for that. It's another to push the boundaries of interpretation. When I can say, well, we did this and here's why. We used this logic and this strategy. But this is people that want to do this. This is just cheating. And I will promise you, an IRS auditor can catch this in about 30 seconds. This is not hard to figure out.
No, I just want to do it right.
Good. So then what you do...
So I just got to go in and re-enter.
And we make that it's really easy to edit those in our system. So you just go in and edit the price. Takes you about 15 seconds per receipt.
Right. Okay. I've got a couple more questions.
Okay.
Or a statement and then a question. All right. Statement is I got a Garmin E-Log. It didn't come with any stickers, so I figured if it was dictated by law, then they would have sent me stickers.
Good point. Probably true.
Right. Okay. Last question. At 1,425 RPM and.
Oh, Bob, I hate to do it. It wasn't me. It's my system. It turns off my phone system as we get close to the end of the show, so it's kind of my, 2-minute warning that I'm all out of time, and I am all out of time. So I've got to wrap this up. We will do it again soon. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Head on over to the website, grab the app. Now, you won't be able to get the app on the website. You have to do a Google search for Audio Road app. Then you can listen to all of our shows live and recorded. It's a great thing. If you're interested, sign up for the class. We just opened up sign up for our next class starting on March 12th. Go to the website, letstruck.com, look under the University tab. If you need help with your taxes or accounting, we can help you. 855-800-3835 or letstruck.com, and you'll find our phone number there as well. We'll see you next time. Be safe, be profitable, be fit and healthy. Always do the hard work and master the journey. I'm Kevin Rutherford.
Listening to Road Dog Trucking Radio.